Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, for episode 371 of the Massenomics podcast, recorded live from western northeast South Dakota and eastern southeast South Dakota. This is recorded live and in full color. My name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy.
Just a smidgen here.
Oh,
I really like the
changing
angle
the
of
angle
my
on
dangle
me.
this time. There we go. How's that?
Fabulous.
Looks a little off-centered or something. I feel better about this. Yeah, so this is episode 371. We're coming to you live from Studio 6.9 again, of course. We have a lot of stuff on our list of topics to get to today. We've got a special guest. Big Jordan Wong is going to be joining us a little later. And then, I don't know, we've got about 10 different things on our list. I'd be surprised if we get to half of it, Tommy.
That's usually how it goes. There's just not enough time.
That's the podcast, the individual podcasts go quick, but the podcasting years go fast.
That is the problem.
And that reminds me, our YouTube this last week was, if anyone hasn't caught it yet, there was a brief history of the Massenomics podcast. Do check that out. It's I think it's it's informative and a little humorous all at once. It's mostly informative though, honestly, isn't it?
It is mostly informative. And if you are somewhat new to the show, or even if you've only been listening to the show for 3 years, there probably is something in there that you'll say, wow, that's really how shitty that was for that long, huh? I thought they sucked now. Wow, they really sucked then.
It was a really interesting look down memory road, though. Even for me, I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I
forgot about several of the things in there until we put the video together and started really looking at those things. You just forget about it,
Yeah. So do make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. We do have we've gone now, I think 12 or 13 weeks with a new video every single week. I thought that was a really fun. I think that one in particular is really cool. Then this next week we got or tomorrow as we're recording, we've got one that comes out about Cerberus sandbags, how to fill those properly.
And there
very informative.
I watched that today, and there was a couple spots in it where I was actually laughing pretty hard. You surprised me with a couple things in there.
What I would say about that video is obviously watch it and subscribe to our YouTube channel, but make sure to watch all the way through the end of the video. Yeah. You have to watch to the very end of that one.
It's like you watched a Marvel movie and now you're getting surprised with some.
That's what it is like, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Now you know what
point.
the sequel, you're getting a hint of what the sequel is going to be,
Yeah. You know what else I'm getting a hint of, Tommy?
What's that?
I'm getting a hint of the Strength Co. And if I'm listening closely, I think I hear something.
This is the Strength Company. We've set out to build a better barbell plate on American soil. We ended up here at Wisconsin's legendary Wapaka Foundry. With over 60 years of ironworking experience, the foundry had the knowledge, technology, and processes to build our weights to our exact specifications. The Strength Company plates are slim but rugged, smooth but easy to grip, and electro-coated for durability and to look great in your gym. This is the next generation of American iron. Only available from the Strength Company.
Make sure to check out the Strength Co. They are also sponsors and vendors at the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic in July in western northeast South Dakota. And this just in, they do have even some special Lift Hard, Live Easy limited edition merch of their own that they will have for sale at the meet. So exciting stuff there.
Can't wait to get my grubby little paws on it.
I know. Me too.
This episode is also brought to you by Bearfoot Shoes, who is also going to be at the Lift Hard, Live Easy Classic this summer with a booth of their own. We'll get to that in a minute. But most shoes harm your mobility by over-restricting your foot's natural movement. Barefoot shoes are designed with minimal restrictions so your feet can move the way they're supposed to. Move with more strength and confidence in every step. Bearfoot Shoes was founded by Chris Duffin, who attributes proper foot biomechanics as foundational to his success in squatting and deadlifting over 1,000 pounds for reps. He helped create the company to provide a minimalist shoe that can be worn for anything from deadlifts to walking your dog. Go to www.barefoot.shoes to check out the best minimalist shoes available. And while you're there, make sure to use code Massenomics to save 10% on your next order. That's www.barefoot.shoes. Code Massenomics will save you 10%.
Thanks, Barefoot. Not for your hands.
Not for the hands. They're for the lower portion of your body.
Yeah. Tommy, did you see the Arnold movie or the Arnold documentary that's coming out on Netflix?
Just saw. Did Arnold have a post on Instagram? Was it yesterday hinting at this? And that was the first I'd ever heard of it. And I have not looked into it anymore, but I'm excited to watch it whenever that comes out.
I think it comes out in June here already. And it's one man, 3 lifetimes, or 3 lives lived, which I haven't looked into it at all any more than that. But obviously it's got to be bodybuilding, acting, and politics, right? So it's
that's came to mind for me.
Right. That's his, which is, he really, he kind of crazy how successful he became at all 3 of those when you look at it.
It really is. Who was even, you can't, I guess you would maybe say the Rock is the closest, but also Rock. He's kind of different in a way too, I guess. I don't know.
He's more lame to me in some ways.
Well, he feels way more corporate, like in every way.
Yes, that's what that's like a better
anything,
description.
I don't have a problem with The Rock at all. He seems like a cool guy, but everything he does seems polished and thought out. Like nothing feels organic at all. Like everything feels like, what can we do to make this feel as organic as possible? And also it's going to be as fake as possible too. Like it's just how everything feels, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels totally manufactured.
I couldn't agree more. Whereas Arnold, I guess it's a different time then.
And that part of it is Arnold probably would have been pretty similar if the world was the way it was then. But
right. I'm excited for that documentary, of course, though. Like it's, and if it's made, well, I don't know. Is it made by Netflix or it's just on Netflix? Actually, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if actually Netflix makes anything. I think they just pay people to make things. Isn't that how it goes?
Okay.
I don't know.
But if Netflix, some stuff is on Netflix that they really didn't have anything to do with other than just like buying it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how most of it is like if it's on Netflix, it's because Netflix paid to pick it up.
Okay.
Like I don't think Netflix has like the Netflix studio where Netflix is like.
They don't. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if they did. Like,
I don't think they do. I think just pay for rights for
some stuff. Some of these similar companies have stuff like that though, right? Like that is what, or is that not the case?
I think
they're
they just
paying
like
people.
even Amazon and like Apple and all that.
And Hulu.
Like, they're just pay. Like
if something's a Hulu original, they're just pay, they're not.
Yeah, it's like the way I understand is like, and so I get, it does get confusing here, but they pitch it, someone's pitching it to them and they say, oh yes, we want to pick that up. Here's your check.
Right.
But they don't have an in-house team of, all right, here's the Netflix cinematographer that shoots stuff.
But that's not true for HBO. Or is that also true there?
I think actually, no, it's just HBO pays these people to do it.
Okay, like
And that's where it gets confusing is like no one really has these in-house like creatives.
Right.
They're just paying different people to do stuff under their brand,
Yeah. The more you know.
Did you ever read the Arnold biography?
Yeah, I've got that. Yes, I have.
That's what this.
Oh yeah, you've got it right there too.
That's the back cover of it right there.
I can almost read that again. It's been like at least 10. I was living in my own 2 houses ago, so it's probably been at least 10 years.
That must have been about when it came out, wasn't it?
Yeah,
because that's when I was. That's about when I was reading it too, and I never actually finished it. And now I kind of feel like it's calling my name up there. I sort of want to read it now.
I got a laundry list of books to get through here. Still, I still haven't. I've gotten closer to the end of. What am I reading now? Big Brother. 1984. Okay. So
not done yet.
No, I have not finished 1984 yet. So stay tuned. I'll do official wrap up when I finish that and go on to my next. This actually puts additional pressure on me now because of the number of weeks I go through and I'm like, haven't finished this 250 page book. Here. I think we talked about it last week, but I am the opposite of a speed reader though. Like I have to, I can read quickly, but I cannot absorb it quickly. Like it just is slow.
Yeah, it's a skill. You're talking though last week really did make me feel like I need to start reading again. That's all it took was someone to say it. And I think that the thing that would really get me over the hump would be that e-reader, so that the light, because I don't have lamps. I don't have lamps around, and at night I hate having every light on. So I think maybe I just need to get an e-reader, and then I'll be like, I spent money on this. Now I have to read. So that's what I'm playing with in my brain right now. I just haven't committed yet.
Yeah. There was quite a bit of discussion about books amongst the crew after all this book talk. So that's
like
stay
if anyone's
tuned.
ever read a book before.
Everyone like giving their statistics. Like, yeah, I haven't read a book in like 4 years, or like, yeah, I might read 6 a year. You know, there's a lot of different.
Out who was illiterate and who could read at a third grade level.
Like, oh, you guys know how to read? Yes.
I'm getting very thirsty right now, Tanner.
Should we crack into a cold ass crispy one? I got a sweaty crispy one right here.
Just teasing myself, sitting to the side.
I had mine in a drink spotter light.
Yeah, I have a lack of metal things that are easy to have on camera like you.
What do you got over there, though? That looks good.
Now that's refreshing.
That looks good already.
Polar cranberry lime. And you know what I just thought of when I said that? Polar. Am I supposed to say the A sound or the E sound on that?
Oh, that's also been a big topic of conversation, hasn't it?
You could say we don't quite got that one in the bag yet, do we?
Oh, that's a good flavor, though. That's like a 4.5 star drink right there.
Yeah, it's a banger.
I've got the a classic LaCroix lemon.
Lemon, not limoncello. Not
just straight up lemon. So what's better to you, lemon or lime, LaCroix?
Oh, boy.
Which one's better?
That's a really hard question. I'd probably go lime, but it is one of those things where if I have enough lime, because lime is always my go-to, the default choice. After I have enough lime, a lemon is pretty damn refreshing, you know?
I think I like lemon a little better than lime.
Wow.
But also the same would be true if I had too many of these. I'd be like, I'd like a lime.
Variety. It's the spice of life, isn't it?
Polar, hardly newer.
Baylor?
That is a crispy crack. I give old lemon here's a 4 all day for me, probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we both brought the A game this week with these cans. We did. With these here cans.
Brought in that good stuff. You had a couple things in here too. Well, actually, let me mention this one. I don't know if you saw this. It's kind of oddly almost was like barely or almost nearly going unnoticed to me, but the heaviest deadlift ever by a female.
I just saw like posts mentioning it. I did not see the video though. Is the video not making the rounds?
Not that much that I've seen. It's at Sarah Eats Bacon is her handle on Instagram. She deadlifted 600 and this is the biggest raw deadlift by a woman ever, maybe just the biggest deadlift for at least raw. It's the biggest raw deadlift ever by a female. 640.5 pounds. Sarah Eats Bacon. I was not familiar with her, and I just like barely even heard about it, which was kind of a weird thought.
I'm trying to track this down right now, and of course I can't.
She just looked like she didn't have a big following yet, so it didn't. It's Sarah S-A-R-A.
That was, there we go. Now I got her. Okay. Yeah, 819 followers. That is amazing that you can have the biggest. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we're working with here.
One of the Davids says that she trains out of either trains or was lifting at Big Jesse Burdick's gym, friend of the podcast. She trains there.
Damn. It's a good lift, too.
Yeah, it seems like she's deserving of a larger following. That'll probably that'll probably be to come with this, I would think. So I'm guessing she broke Tamara Walcott's record then. That must just be chipping it.
Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, it's right in there, isn't it? Wasn't she right around 650?
Yeah, because I think hers was like 638 or 639 or, like very similar. So that must be a chip. A chipping.
Yeah, really strong.
Chip shot.
For sure, though.
Not bad.
Impressive stuff.
Yeah. What did this is an interesting thing. I noticed sometimes I listen to the FM radio on the way to school and schools and
You're
work in
saying
the
words
morning.
that I'm not sure what those words mean. Can you explain what that?
Well, what does FM stand for, actually?
I don't know. What does it stand for?
What does
It's
AM
not
stand
satellite, or it's not AM. It's not FM. It's XM. No, I don't. Let's find out. Frequency modulation.
for? Okay.
What's AM?
The more
stand
you
for?
know. Sometimes I listen to the FM radio in the morning, and the damnedest thing happened. I was listening, and they said, next up, new song from Nickelback. And I was like, really? I didn't know that they were making new songs. And
See-
I can't remember what the name was of it, what the name of it was, but I heard the name, and I'm like, that is such a name of a Nickelback song. If you could just throw 50 words in a hat and pull out 3 of them in any order, and you're like, yep, that's the name of a
That
Nickelback
works,
song.
yeah. Okay, and I don't know if this is just timing or if this actually does coincide with this, but there is an account. There's a guy, he interviews all these musicians. His name is Nardwar, and he just had on his Instagram page, he had an interview with the Nickelback guys, and I didn't know if that was new or old or what, but if they did just have an album come out, then maybe that is new, actually.
Yeah, it must be. And obviously, I mean, they must have just had an album come out. And so I did catch the song, and I was like, maybe it's going to seem like way different. You know, because sometimes, like, when
Right.
somebody's gone for a while, and they're
music
like,
has changed
Yeah.
since they were really at their peak. It has, for sure.
and not only did the title fit it perfectly, like 10 seconds into the song, I'm like, yeah, this is like,
This is it.
Such
It
an-
fits the formula.
yeah, just to a T. I'm like, no, there's nothing different here. There is nothing different and new about it.
They were singing about photographs and stuff like that.
It's like photographs and rock stars. And like they just mashed up all
It
their
was a photograph.
songs.
It said, "This photograph reminds me of a rock star," and it's really easy to do. And I have all.
I don't
their
know if anyone
songs
else has
in front
heard
of me.
that, and if maybe they have a different take on it. But I think if you listen to it, you'd be like, nothing surprising here, is there?
Yeah, it's I think we bring up Nickelback about once every 80 episodes on this show, and it's probably been about 80 episodes. So here we are again, and
It all kind of comes back to Nickelback, doesn't it?
It always does. And
That's why they call it Nickelback.
yeah, about once a year for some reason they come up, and we'll be in the car, and I'll turn on Rockstar, and I'll tell my wife, I'm like, the song actually isn't too bad, and she's like, it's pretty tolerable actually.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to remove yourself enough from things and to appreciate them more.
Two best
You know?
ones to me. I'm not thinking very hard. There could be better ones, but the two best ones to me off the top of my head, Rockstar and How You Remind Me.
Yeah.
But How You Remind Me, that song's from 2001. It says so. 22 years it was there. That was the
Still
best
holding
one.
weight, though, after 22 years.
Yep. Still slaps.
You know who else holds weight?
Who?
Our supporting members.
Oh.
I'd like to support our supporting members a little bit here. First things first, telling you what this is. Someone's saying, what the hell is a supporting our supporting members segment? Well, it's a relatively new segment to the Massenomics podcast. It's our chance to give back a little bit to the people that give to us. So if you want to get on the supporting member crew, you go to our website, you get signed up. We've got several different membership options. We still have new members flocking in by the day, and we'd love to have you get in on that. Also, you get things like access to our exclusive, very extremely active Discord community full of like-minded individuals. You get there's a discount code for you in there. You get early information on drops. You get access to our meet, the first to be able to sign up for our meet, that sort of thing. All kinds of stuff, too much stuff to even mention. And in addition to all that, our crew, the crew, is starting their own podcast, which we've talked about a little bit here.
Yes.
It's going to be unpaid and underrated podcast. They've done some recording, as far as I'm aware of it. They're getting the hosting set up now. I think they're working on recording their second episode, maybe even. And I am extremely excited. And Massenomics is the sponsor of the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. I mean, I know we're at least one of the sponsors.
Naturally.
So I'm really excited to see that take off and take flight in its first published episodes. I'll be one of the first listeners. I can guarantee that.
Well, did I see? I've been loosely following this because I do want to listen. Has the pilot episode been officially published, or is it like in some secret back channel that people are listening?
It's only secret back channel for now.
Okay,
but it is going to. The crew was not to give anyone in personalized credit. I think the crew is working on getting that published as we speak, kind of.
Okay,
and the crew is also working on. They're recording another episode tomorrow night. It says so.
Perfect.
So if you join our supporting members, you could get in on the Unpaid and Underrated podcast. You know, it is by and for the crew, so you could get in on that. Also this week, Big Matthias Cash, no stranger to supporting our supporting members, competed in a USAPL meet. He hit a 584 squat, a 347 bench, and a 606 deadlift for a 1537 total.
Sweet.
Very good, well-rounded numbers there. Congrats to Big Jake from State Farm. He graduated. He's not only from State Farm, he's also a graduate of medical school now. So Big Jake and the crew is
really
one of our
doing
official
things
doctors.
with his life out there, man.
Yes.
Slow down.
And I did see he gave most of the credit to that to the crew and being a supporting member. He said, yeah, I've got to give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Tanner and Tommy. I think that's what he said in his I mean, the tassel.
Definitely thought that there was no way he wasn't thinking that while he was graduating.
So if you think it's just a bunch of dumbasses in the crew, that's
wrong.
partly correct, but there also is like doctors and lawyers in there. There's
very distinguished people.
There is such a wide variety of professions within the crew.
Oh,
the
man.
widest,
If we had a spreadsheet of anonymous profession, like we didn't even put people's names to it, we just listed all the professions that have existed in this Discord at some point, man, you would be blown away if we told you some of them.
There's doctors, there's lawyers, there's mechanics, there's engineers, there's people that work for companies like NASA, and there's high-ranking military officers in there, and like just
business owners.
Business owners.
Social media
porn stars, pornography stars,
performers. People in social media with incredibly large followings.
Yeah, electricians, welders, basically every trade that you could. Yeah, we had people, someone with a enormous, I'm not gonna name names on everything, but there's someone that joined it up just even this week that has an enormous social media following.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a really fun, cool. I'm just bragging about it at this point, I guess, but I don't know.
It is funny
cool.
to think about all the diverse backgrounds that exist in there.
Yeah, there is. And last, of course not least, Big Jeff, who I believe he's not in listening live tonight. I think he said he's going to be up after his thing, but Big Jeff was on was a guest on a different podcast this week. He was talking about he's a financial planner, and I listened to the full episode. It was great.
Are you smarter now?
I think it couldn't hurt.
Okay.
Along with all my reading, I think it's just another piece of the
right.
Piece
Your
of the puzzle
brain's
here.
just overflowing with knowledge. It's oozing out.
Yes. It was good though. I don't know the organ. It seemed like a pretty well put together podcast that he was on there, and it was a really good segment or a really good interview. You know what I was thinking could be a funny thing for us maybe to do on supporting our supporting members sometime. Like sprinkling this in here instead of doing like where we read out accomplishments for people for the week supporting our members. We just we're going to give someone, say, 30 seconds of airtime, like a supporting member, where they get to say whatever they want for 30 seconds. So it's like Big Jeff was my example.
Yeah,
he's a
open
financial
mic.
planner. Yeah, he's like, where we say, Big Jeff, welcome to the podcast. You are on the clock, and we press start, and we just say, you talk, and we are hanging up on you at 30 seconds. So it's like maybe he wants to pitch his company or something like that. Almost like where people can get their own little ads in.
I like it. That's good. Yeah, 30 seconds. The floor is yours, and if you want us to talk, you can, but it's yours.
Yeah, and at 30 seconds, no matter if you're mid sentence, the phone is being hung up at that point in time.
I think we should probably implement that. I think we might have to get that going.
So that could be a fun addition to supporting our supporting members here soon, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like that.
Okay, good.
And if you want to become a supporting member, you go to massenomics.com/join and see what this party is all about.
Yeah.
One quick thing on Nickelback. I did see someone say, "I like your feet around your pants," and that reminded me of the song "Pants Feet," which is an all-time classic too.
Yeah,
is that DJ Cumberbund? Was that?
Yeah,
him?
I think it is. Right?
Oh,
if it's not,
if you haven't seen that, you have to look up "Pants Feet."
Someone
by DJ Cumberbund. It is so funny.
I know we've talked about it on the podcast, but someone sent it to me the other day, and I hadn't seen it for a while, and I had to watch it. I'm like, God, that's so funny. It was just
I forgot actually that existed until reading it in there, and it is hilarious. Especially that first time we saw it when it was drinking a lot of beers and you're just having a good time and you don't know what's coming and that hits you. It's hilarious.
I had an idea. Should we try to get DJ Cumberbund as a guest on the podcast?
It could be pretty good. I feel like it'd be possible to get him.
Oh yeah, I think so. I don't
think he's inaccessible.
No, and he's obviously. We've had a variety of guests on here over the 7 years, but he's definitely outside of our normal.
Yeah.
But I think that would be there's no doubt that would be a fun one, right?
It would be, absolutely. Because we just talk all these classic pop hits and just cult classics that he makes. It's good stuff.
That is good stuff. You know what else is good stuff?
What's that? Are you going to read an ad?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to go for 2 seconds, so don't be done with your ad until I'm back.
Okay, should I start the 30-second timer on you?
Well, it might be 35 seconds, but I'll be back very shortly.
All right, sounds good. Well, while Tommy's gone, we'll use this opportunity to talk to you about Juggernaut AI. Juggernaut AI is like having the best powerlifting coach in the world with you during every training session, helping you reach your true potential. It's trusted by lifters from all over the world. Over 50,000 lifters, and that includes Tommy, who's not here right now, and myself. And there's over 15 plus quadrillion program variations. I have no idea how many zeros that is. It's more than anybody knows. But the point is I was actually just having a conversation with someone else in the gym about this today. There's probably 15 of us at least at Massenomics Gym that all use Juggernaut AI. And it's funny how different our training is than each other. You know, this isn't a cookie cutter Excel template program, which I'm not even saying for certain purposes, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what this is. This is especially the longer you use it, the more it is customized and catered to, say, your needs for increasing your strength. And it's just funny how myself and, say, Tommy's brother Ryan, Flying Ryan, how we can both be using this for months and just how dissimilar our programming is at that point in time. You know, they all start off with a similar base, but the longer you do it, I think the more valuable it becomes and the more you get out of it. Interesting note also, I saw Big Basement Brandon recently switched back to Juggernaut AI, but do not use Basement Brandon's discount code. Make sure to use the Massenomics discount code, which is Massenomics, and that'll save you 10% on the lifetime of that Juggernaut AI membership.
I'm back.
And don't use the app when you sign up. Go to the web browser. It's juggernautai.app, and that's where you can get signed up and use discount code Massenomics.
Okay.
I was talking about how Basement Brandon is back on the Juggernaut AI train with us. We missed him.
Thought he was out, and they pulled him back in.
Yep. I always keep him coming back for more.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com.
Is our guest waiting to hop in the Zoom?
He is there and waiting. I should probably kick everyone else out, shouldn't I?
Yeah, you kick everyone else out. Can you talk at all while you're kicking people out? I was going to ask you about something.
Yeah. Well, I'll try.
Well, maybe this is follow-up for after our guest, but people have been also asking if you've got any good recent commercial gym, experiences or stories. Anything?
Not a ton. It's been really dead lately. I think now that the
Suppose
weather's
it's nice
getting,
out.
I think it's now that the weather's getting nicer. People are like, "Oh, I'll do my running and stuff outside," or like, "I'm just not going to go to the gym because there's stuff to do." So that's been my biggest takeaway. Is it's just been pretty empty lately. So I don't have a ton of exciting stuff to report there. Unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we need to hit on the weather after we talk to Big Jordan too. So let's not forget about the weather.
Okay, so let's see. He is allowed to unmute himself.
I suppose we might
want to mute him. It's a tougher interview when he's muted, right?
Well, it's definitely a different experience, right?
All right, I'll let him in. And he should be joining any moment now.
All right. Big Jordan, are you out there?
I am.
Ooh, there we
Hold
go.
on. There we go.
There he is. How's it
I need
going?
my phone number.
What'd you say? How do I get your phone number?
Yeah.
Oh, we have connections. Don't worry about that. Yeah, you're live on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy. How's it going?
What's up, Jordan?
This isn't the Live Large podcast?
Oh, shoot. I knew we
wait.
messed something up.
Oh, how you guys doing?
Great.
Pretty good. We're excited to get you on. It's been a long time coming, I think, don't you think?
Yeah, I guess so.
Too
last time I
long.
bought one of your shirts. It was in your notes.
Is that what I said, that we need to get you on the podcast sometime soon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my assistant writes all those, so I don't really know what's in those. Most important to kick off, what's in your can over there? We saw you can shopping earlier today.
I had to get this.
What do you got?
Orange?
Orange. God, have we ever had straight up orange before, Taylor?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So that's an orange LaCroix that you've got. It looks like. How is it?
Well, orange is my favorite flavor for like everything, so it's the best. I was drinking that cheaper Aldi stuff, Waterloo, but I had to switch to this for tonight.
Yeah, the high
fancy
strength
Let's go.
stuff.
Yeah, I had to go to Publix and spend all my fucking money.
So we usually give it a 5, a rating 0 to 5 JD Power and Associates Awards, and you can use half points. So it could be, you give that a 2, a 2.5, a 3, 3.5, 4. What do you give that on a 0 to 5?
4.
Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
rating.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
I've always called it like La Croix, and I was corrected one day, and I was like, "Shit, I'm a fucking idiot."
Yeah, LaCroix is really the fancy one, though. It's like for the hoity-toity people, I think.
Well, it sounds fancy now that I know how to pronounce it.
It's got
Yeah,
that
French people.
that French stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good. Now we finally settled the question of what's in the can. Second question, and this is probably the second most important thing. We've had Andy Huang on the podcast before, and I don't know if you know, but his Instagram handle is that huge Asian guy. How do you feel about him calling himself that? Like, the important word is that. Like, he's saying he's that huge Asian guy.
He is that huge Asian guy. every time I see him in person, it's not Andy, it's that huge Asian guy.
Yeah.
We took a picture together at the Kern in 2017, and I think I put the caption, that huge Asian guy and that medium Asian guy, but didn't officially change the Instagram name.
That could be a good Instagram name change if you have changed your Instagram handle before though, haven't you?
No, not in like 8 years.
Okay. Because what is it right now? Is it Wong Strong?
Yeah, STWONG. It's like a spin on the word strong.
Right.
I wish I could like say I made that up, but I used to train with the guy Chad Walker, and he was just saying it in the gym one day, joking around, and kind of just stuck.
That's how all good nicknames start, though, right?
That is how good nicknames start. I always try to give myself cool nicknames, but that never really sticks like that. So I guess it doesn't work that way.
Well, what's one of them?
I kind of made that up. I don't even really try to give myself cool
I figured that.
Well, everyone's big around here, so you're Big Jordan, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, we have, you have been a Massenomics supporter for a lot of years though, too. Like that's actually cool. It's always fun when we get people on here that, also get, cause we interview people that maybe they don't give a shit about Massenomics, and that's fine too, cause we want to talk to them about stuff. But,
or like just have never even really heard of us before. So it's just like, they have no idea what they're even getting into.
What got me into it was the old trading cards.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you guys had apparel yet when you guys started that, or maybe it was just like in the very beginning.
We had apparel, but just not the apparel people were buying.
Yeah, we had probably 2 or 3 t-shirts. Yeah.
Well, the trading cards did it.
Well, we did one of you, right?
Yeah, it was my first meet. I had the long hair, the glasses.
Yeah.
Looked like an Asian lesbian. Am I allowed to say lesbian? It's 2023.
I mean, we're not the subject
Florida,
matter experts for sure, but like, I think it's okay.
All right.
That's funny. You it just reminded me of it there a little while ago. You had a funny post about, it was basically like what I would call the history of powerlifting drama. And, this was a couple, this is kind of when the USPA thing was going on. And you went down this really funny list that's, funny because of how accurate it seemed. Of like, this is the track record of powerlifting and where the drama goes and kind of how it goes like full circle all the time. And it just was pretty spot on, I think.
Yeah, I've been through it all. I haven't been through it all. Like, I didn't get touched by anyone from the USPA, but haven't done any touching either. I am still technically a judge with them in Florida. But
okay.
Yeah. So.
But they seem like they are doing, like, trying to do better stuff. Like, I would hate to even
has
comment
it just been like people have just moved on to the next thing now?
Like I don't really even know what to say about it.
Yeah, honestly, I think people moved on to the next thing.
That's kind of what I assumed. It's just too much work to be angry at that for that long. So it's.
Oh yeah, like I get it, but
yeah.
I also think. Some people might disagree, but I think people like to pick something and then stick to it for a while and have a reason to talk all the time and make posts all the time, and then they move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Like I was at a USPA meet in Florida in February in the midst of the whole thing. And if you didn't know what was going on, like it was just like every other Florida meet that they've held. They've been around for about 10 years. Rich Vika and the Gorilla Bench guys, that's a gym in Clearwater, Jen Rotzinger and all them. Like they put on great events. You could put probably one a month on from them and everyone's going to fill up. They just run a good event. People have fun. They figured all that shit. And honestly, they don't even know that stuff because it's so many newer lifters. It attracts everyone that doesn't follow all this.
Right. Yeah, the people that aren't tainted by the cesspool
yet.
Yeah. Well, and you talk about having seen it all. It's funny, you kind of have. We were talking about it. You're not that old. I think you're younger than both of us, but I was looking on Open Powerlifting. I think it showed your first meet of 2009. I don't know if we could look back on the rookie card. I don't know, but and you've done over 30 meets in that amount of time. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I was 17 in 2009. So I think I'm 31 now. I'm 32 now. Yeah. 2009, I think I competed 4 times in that first year. And when I started, I competed a lot, like probably 4 to 5 times a year. and then I kind of went to like 2 to 3, and then 1 to 2.
Yeah. Do you feel kind of like an old head now, like someone that's kind of seen it all and done it all, and that knows the powerlifting, knows the ins and outs of the powerlifting world?
Like, I don't think like that, but sometimes when like when you say something like that, or people are talking about something a long time ago, I'm like, oh shit, yeah, I guess I have been around a long time. I mean, really, when I started lifting, I was reading articles because when you get into lifting, you just read everything to get better. And I was reading about box squats and shit, not realizing the only training back then, like the content was multiply lifting. So that's what I came up with. I mean, that's why I have a wide stance. I just saw it on the internet and I was like, oh, I'm going to power lift. I have a wide stance, and it just stuck. So
yeah, you do. You have a particularly wide squat stance too. It's kind of like, what was Hulk Smash or Adam from out in California?
Yeah.
He trained at.
Yeah, Adam. Yeah, I don't remember his last name, but
yeah, but he had that all, like, I mean, your stance, am I wrong? Is it it kind of looks similar to what his is like too, isn't it?
yeah. So I think people, like, when they talk about my squat, they think it's a very wide stance. Like Shane Holler, I train with him all the time. His stance is wider than mine, but my feet flare out so much, and when I squat, I just open my hips really big, and I think it just gives an illusion that I'm wider than I am.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you ever squat, like, say, as an alternative squat style? Do you ever for, I don't know, whatever training purpose, squat with a narrower stance, or do you just always use that?
I think I do until I see it like on camera, and I'm still pretty wide. So like when I used to be able to train high bar, I try to go more narrow and it would still look pretty wide. I've always front squatted with like my regular squat stance, even though I think it's a little more narrow. I mean, so no.
Nope. Yeah.
Does anyone ever
I
tell
have
you
used
like
the belt squat.
Does anyone ever tell you the problem you could squat more if you just did a narrow stance? There's always people out there.
Nobody's ever told me that. No one ever says really dumb shit like that to me. So I'm kind of lucky.
Yeah.
Can you use the belt squat? Like, we have like the Rhino, and I'm wondering like if you could stand on that platform or not in that way.
Yeah, I have the same belt squat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I can emulate my regular belt or my regular squat, and then sometimes I actually do go a little more narrow and hold on to the handles just to get a little more quad work. But I prefer the hack squat or the pendulum squat because I can't stand putting that belt on and off.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the ass. And we were talking about how long you've been around. It was also, I was impressed looking at the meets you've done. So you did a raw unity multiple times, which was, for anyone that doesn't know or remember, that kind of was like one of the, if not the first big raw meets that were going on. You've done Boss of Bosses, you've done the Kern, you've done the Showdown, you've done the Ghost Clash. So as I was looking at it, I'm like, damn, Jordan did like every one of the big. Did you ever do Reebok Record Breakers? Maybe that's one that you didn't do.
I did do that.
Okay, so you did that one too. Like you did every one. When I look at the list, I'm like, is there a big one that you ever didn't do? I mean, maybe you didn't do the Kern every single year, or you didn't do Record Breakers every single year, but like you've been and experienced that each one of these that I consider like the big ones.
Yeah, I started to get a little better at lifting around the time of the backyard meet of the century, and I always wanted to go out to that, but they stopped doing it, and I guess that kind of transitioned to the Reebok Record Breakers. So maybe I did do that one technically. Yeah, I've never been to a one of the Pioneer ones. I'd like to do one of them one year because they always turn out pretty good. I did do the IPL Worlds in Vegas, which is like USPA's whatever international thing.
Yeah.
I just thought it'd be cool to go to Las Vegas, so I did that. And you cover the rest of them. There's a meet on Open Powerlifting that says like Australia, but that's not me.
Okay.
It's in there somewhere.
So what of all those I don't know, maybe it's tough to pick one, but what was the coolest experience at all those?
My favorite was the Showdown. That was the most fun I've had at a meet just because of circumstances with Joe.
Yeah, in Kansas City. Okay, yeah, we were there watching that. Yes, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was fun for me. That Hawaiian Bros restaurant down the street, I fucking love that.
Yeah.
Have you heard us talk about Hawaiian Bros? Because we loved Hawaiian Bros too. Yeah.
No, I went there for lunch and I want to go back.
We got it delivered.
Anymore,
we always got it delivered when we were there. It was so good.
Yeah, that's the shit.
Yeah, the UFC was in Kansas City like a few weeks ago, and I was watching it on TV, and I'm like, next time they go there, I should just go to that event just so I can go to the Hawaiian Bros.
Yeah, that wasn't one of the best. But when you and Joe had that squat back and forth, there's a few electric moments of that meet, but that was as good as any of it when that was going on. That
like one of the most memorable things of that entire weekend to me was
like
that
people like us standing on our chairs in the back to be able to see what's going on. You know, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I've never really had a head-to-head experience like that. To be completely honest, like on paper for that meet, he should have blown me out of the water. Like my training wasn't that great, you know, but that day it was just there and took advantage of it.
So it's like the old saying goes, it'll be there on meet day, right?
Yeah, I mean, I tell myself that sometimes, and it's definitely not. But yeah, actually, the one time I really had a good training cycle was not this year's Ghost, but last year's Ghost. Like everything went perfect, and that was one of the worst like performances I ever had on the squat.
Yeah,
but
it wasn't there on meet day.
It was not there on meet day.
So with you and Joe chasing that squat back and forth, and you know, it was a big deal at that meet, and even before and after and since then. Would you say, do you have a friendly rivalry with him, or does he piss you off?
Both. Not because it's him. Just so I guess if we had to rewind a little bit, I did that Raw Unity meet in 2015, and I was like a blown up fat 242. Squatted 727, missed 749, and I was just like, I think I'm gonna drop a weight class and try to break Dan Green's record. And it was 783 at the time. So like saying that out loud, it's pretty fucking stupid because that was only 4 months later. But I pretty much just only thought about that for the next like 4 months and did everything I could to do it. I did it, and then Amit Sapir broke it, and then I pretty much stopped going to 220 because I was just fat. Then finally I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this one more time. And then I did, and that's what you saw. And now I've just been trying to get it back, and I plan on going head-to-head with Joe at the American Pro this year.
That is Virginia, or where?
Yeah, Virginia.
And that sounds like that is like the venue or the powerlifting meet for putting on a spectacle.
Yeah, I wasn't there last year. I was thinking about going to spectate, but it's a pain in the ass to get there. You have to fly to, it looks like Washington, D.C., and drive an hour away to wherever it is in Virginia. So I just watched on YouTube.
That speaking of being a pain in the ass to get to, you know, we've got one coming up in July in western northeast South Dakota. If you're looking for a interesting road trip,
a couple flights.
If I were to go, I would fly. I would definitely not drive. Western, eastern, north. Maybe next year. Are you guys gonna do it again?
We'll see how this goes. I mean, that's I mean, you know how it goes. You always want it to be bigger and better, but we got to at least do one under the, you know, get one under our belt first. And if it goes like we hope it does, it'd probably be crazy to think we won't do it again.
No, I'd love to make it out to that. Like, so in the beginning of the show, you talked about I've been supporting you guys for a long time. I always tend to purposely support the companies that give back to powerlifting, put out content. You guys keep me entertained consistently. You put a podcast out every Monday. I listen to most of them, and the shit you post on the internet's funny.
Sometimes.
So, yeah, I'll give you guys my money. Then you got companies that just show up, release some shirts, and it's like, all right, well, I'm not going to go above and beyond to line your pockets, you know?
Right.
So
yeah, you're wearing the you're wearing the blue ribbon powerlifting tank.
Yeah.
I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
There we go.
We were just talking about bringing that one back sometime. We haven't had that one for sale for a while. We might have to do that.
Yeah, this is the type of beer my friends used to drink when we were young because it was the cheapest.
Yeah. But now, hipsters drink that beer. It's cool to drink PBR now.
Do they really?
Yeah. Well, I
See,
don't know.
always thought
Tommy, is that
hipsters
right? I
drank
might just
shit.
be talking out of my ass.
I think it kind of went in a phase. Like it was definitely, it was getting hyped up for a while. And I feel like that hype's died down a little bit on PBR lately.
I'm not one of those beer nerds, but it always, like, maybe it's you guys. I don't understand the people that act like they like IPA beers.
I don't like it.
I don't mind
Like,
it. To me,
are
it's like this. It's like, it's super carbonated and there's like weird flavors
totally
going
different. It's like seltzer. Like that's what you have is
on.
way different.
I get that. Yes, I get that is like that. But it's just, I don't know. It's something weird for your taste buds. I think that's why I like it.
Yeah. Like I will go drink a fucking mango White Claw before I have some IPA to look cool in front of the guys at the bar.
I would also probably rather have a mango White Claw. I can drink an IPA or two, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't really like this anymore. But my wife fits into that category, and I give her shit all the time. I just think she likes the most expensive beer. It's like that one's $12 a glass. I can already tell it's delicious. I
will say the thing with IPAs though is I think as far as beers, and I'm not a beer snob by any means. I mean, I will drink anything. I don't care. It does not bother me. But I think with IPAs, especially
if it's warm enough,
get it the right temp. IPAs especially, there's like a huge range of like, okay, there's things that taste like more fruity light beers, and you probably wouldn't know it's an IPA. And then there's like really crazy stuff that's like 12%, and like it has so much stuff going on. So there is a range. If you can find something that you like in there, then it fits a little better.
See, I like the fruity beers. I mean, I guess I'm just a fruity guy, and I'll go to some restaurant and I'll just read, it'll say something like citrus or whatever on it, and order and drink. Oh, this tastes like shit. I go back, look at the menu. I got that stupid aftertaste in my mouth. I'm like, oh, it's a fucking IPA beer. There goes $8.
Well, then it must not be meant to be.
$13.50 down the drain.
I'll just reorder a strawberry daiquiri or something. That won't fail.
Yeah, so talking about meets, you run meets of your own, right? I mean, how many have you run and put on, or how many do you do a year usually?
So I opened my gym at the end of 2020. First meet was June 2021. I did 2 in 2021. I guess technically 5 in 2022.
That is a lot.
Yeah. So in 2022, we did a meet called Coins for a Cause. It was a push-pull. I ended up putting it in the back of my gym, like in the parking lot. And that was just to raise money for a local like weightlifting team for a middle school. And we raised $10,000.
Dang.
We got it sanctioned.
Yeah.
And then June's our like annual showcase super classic. And then in August, I put on a weekend meet. Day one was for the youth, teenagers and juniors. We had no juniors. So it was all teenagers or under. And the next day we did something called the Master Showdown. I think it was called the Master Showdown. It was Master Showcase. And that was 40 plus.
Now you're speaking our language, old dudes.
Yeah. Oh, those old dudes, they fucking show up because you can get those state records and all those medals. I made the mistake because I know how the Masters guys like the records. I made the mistake of making it where if you break or set a state, any record in the federation, I should have went and looked at how many vacant fucking records there were. I paid out so much money to those guys. Yeah. I mean, pretty much everything we made from the door the prior day for the youth meet went to them. And it was a big day too, because we had a charity event for a local, like a pet rescue. So like I squatted 500 for reps. Riley Presnell benched 135 for reps. And we had Brett do a deadlift, and we had a bunch of companies match like dollar for pound. And we raised like $5,000 for them. So it was a really big turnout just locally.
Yeah.
And this year we're going to put on 2 meets.
So do you have any advice for us so we are bringing, I guess to clarify, we brought in a meet director, Big Dave out of North Dakota, and he runs several meets a year. So we're not even really direct, he's facilitating a lot of that stuff for us. So that I think is a great move for us, simplifies some of that stuff that we don't have to worry about. But do you have any other good advice that comes to your mind on running a meet?
Well, since you have a meet director, if anyone complains, just blame him. That's one.
Yes.
But really, like I say, one thing that I'm fortunate enough to be is around a whole bunch of lifters that have been around for a long time. So in Florida, there's a whole bunch of like Trevor Jaffe, and we had Riley, another girl, Melissa, just we can handle Shane Holler, Craig Foster. They're all around me, so I could have them come at any minute and just help out. So like Alexis, she's come down. You guys know Alexis? Alexis Wells now used to be Fisherman. Alexis fan Instagram.
I don't know if I do.
Yeah.
I'll look her up, I guess.
Okay.
But she comes to everyone, but now she starts lifting at them. So now I need to replace her basically. And yeah, so all those people, they make it a smooth process. I get all the credit, which is cool. But yeah, my mom runs the score table with another girl, Annie, and they kill it once they figured out the system. And I have a very good amount of people from my gym that help with the whole setting up, breaking down. So I know I kind of just rambled there, but the moral of all that bullshit was if you have a good staff and like support around you, it's going to go really smooth.
And that's what
And
we've
if
tried
you
to
don't,
do. Yeah, we've tried to really.
like, don't be those guys that send out a Facebook post the night before the meeting, like, hey, we need a spotter and loader, we'll buy you pizza.
We've already, we're still a few months out, and we've already even paid the spotter and loader crew that's coming in to run it. So we're like, we want that stuff to, and we're like, yeah, we're getting sponsors. Like, why we pay them a little bit and make it worth their time. And obviously it's going to be part of our meet. I think part of the draw is it's just going to be fun. So like people might want to, some people might want to come, but yeah, we're trying to cover our bases on stuff like that.
Dan was supposed to do your meet, right?
Yeah. That's, obviously you've seen what Dan has said. Who knows what his future holds. I think there's a pretty good, what he said is he still wants to come and hang out. I don't know if he's going to lift. He hasn't said he's not. I kind of assume he's not, but maybe he'll come and just take a couple lifts for the hell of it. I could see Dan will do whatever the hell he wants to do, as long as he comes for the party. I don't even care if he lifts. Like the after party's half the battle, 3/4 of it for us. So
I'm sure he'll probably show up if he said he was going to. Like he did my meet last year, and he did another local meet, I think right after mine or right before. And his whole big, like I've heard him talk on podcasts about it, and he's even told me he just likes to go support people that give back to the sport. So
yeah. And he's been cool. He's been a good supporter of us for several years and stuff. So that's awesome. And yeah, you should carpool with the Florida people. Actually, Dan, Lindsay loves to lift, or Lindsay Gray. She
did my December meet too. She's from that same area.
Yeah. She signed up too. So you can just maybe, just go away in their check bags or something and you can get here.
Yeah, I'll just not do that. I'll just book my own flight. July. What's the weekend?
July 22nd.
Shit, I might be able to do that.
Hey, keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Keep it in mind. Your gym, over the last year, you've been through some, I don't know, what could you tell the story of what you've had to go through with your gym?
Well, I opened it up because I know this isn't what you're referring to, but I opened it up because the whole COVID shit pretty much made the gym I worked at go bankrupt. They closed us down. I opened the gym the next week or whatever. Fast forward to September 2022, hurricane. Shit, what was that hurricane called?
I don't know. I was actually trying to think of that earlier today when I was, thinking about
Hurricane Ian.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, that came, and it's funny. I was at the gym that morning, and usually, because I've been in Florida my whole life, hurricanes come and everyone's like freaking the fuck out, and I'm that guy. It's like, we'll be fine. Like my area has only been hit hard by one. That was Charlie back in 2004. And I was like, they all say they're gonna come this way, whatever.
Actually, do you remember
right for
Hurricane Irma was in I don't know if it was 2019. I was in Port Charlotte.
2017.
Yeah, I was in Port Charlotte when Hurricane Irma, because you're from Port Charlotte,
Northport.
Right? Northport. Same thing, basically, right?
Yeah. Why were you in Port Charlotte? That's weird.
My in-laws lived there during the winters, and I've been there. I haven't been there for several years. I always figure or maybe 3 years, when I go back, I'm going to look you up and come check out the gym now that you're there. But yeah, so I come every so many years, so I'll eventually be there and get to check out the gym. So
good.
But we had to evacuate to Atlanta. I don't.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it missed us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hung out by my cousin's house. He actually just I think bought or built a house and it was like vacant. I had like air mattress there just because my home is a older one. So I went there and nothing happened. We just got a lot of rain and I left the next day. And that's kind of what I thought was going to happen for Hurricane Ian, but no, it just wrecked us. I got flooded in my house. The gym obviously got destroyed. Like the roof pretty much collapsed in the building. And then now it's fixed.
So are you in the same location that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was it like? What was the timeline like? Like say the hurricane came through on a whatever night of the week it was. So were you able to be at the gym like the next day to see what it was like there? Was it like a week until you could even get there? Or what was it? You know, what was that?
So the day after I asked, actually had a few people reach out to me and tell me the gym was fine, right? Because they kind of just looked in the window and like, oh, it looks good, whatever. And then one guy, his name's Eric, he's like, oh, the gym's like destroyed. He's like, there's water. Like he made it sound like it was flooded like this high up. And I don't think it ever was. And maybe I just misinterpreted what he texted me. And then I had to go the next day because I was flooded in. So I'd actually go through the woods and get to a main road. And someone from my gym picked me up in their truck and we all went there and it was pretty fucked up. But actually, no, I'm missing the part. The day before I went out, so the day that I was told it got fucked up, the girl I told you about, Alexis, she lives a few towns over. She made it down there with some people from her town and they went to the gym and just cleaned everything up and bagged everything up and saved all the plates and stuff from rusting. Then I got there and I saw how fucked up it really was. And then I thought, just on the condition of the building, that I was going to have to definitely find a new location, but we were able to fix shit in about 2 months.
So was the gym closed for a couple months or?
Yeah. Yep. So luckily there's a few gyms around me. So there's a commercial gym and there's another strength-based gym called the Rhino Gym in Port Charlotte. And then my friend Chad, he's got a whole separate building next to his house that's just a gym. And a lot of us went there. A few other people went to the other two gyms. So we were still able to train and like keep our training up. So that was good.
So
and were
was
you
any
able
of the equipment like damaged beyond repair? Were you able to salvage all the equipment?
None of the equipment was really damaged. I think this is funny. So the Kabuki deadlift bar, I just bought it. That's the only one that rusted up. And of course, that was the one that was like fucking $600 or $700 bucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. But the stuff that got damaged was like the belts and some of the banners. They got really wet and all that, but everything was salvageable.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
How about from like your members, like in you running the gym? You know, you said you got to like, did people continue to pay their membership and stuff over that?
They did. I would say I had less than 5 people ask me to pause it or cancel it.
Yeah.
So that really helped me fix the gym because obviously I didn't pay rent during that time because the whole building was screwed up and they're pretty aware of what happened. So I got a little bit of a break there. But the money coming in from the memberships was able to help me pay for the repairs. Trevor Jaffe started a GoFundMe for me, like, which was weird. I mean, because I've always like made fun of that, and then I ended up raising. I think
that's a legit, you know, like there's
still
like
weird to me,
levels of what you have a GoFundMe for, you know, and like that's a real
like
reason to have it
recovering from a natural disaster or things like that.
Yeah, the way I justify that is like I feel like I could make it happen. Like maybe I would just took out a small loan or something, but the thing is, what I really appreciate about the GoFundMe was, in my opinion, that kind of kept together like the whole community my gym is. Because really, like it's a smaller gym, but we still have almost 200 members. But everyone like pretty much knows each other and are friends, and they kind of just kept them together rather than making them disperse for good. And chances are a lot of them probably wouldn't continue lifting if they didn't have that type of environment. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's cool. Seems like you're getting new equipment and different stuff all the time. What, when it comes to running the gym, what's your favorite thing to spend money on, and what's your least favorite thing to have to spend money on at the gym?
Obviously, the favorite thing is equipment.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun for me too because I get a lot of it on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm a fan of these. I'm not really a machine guy too much, but I'm a fan of the older machines because they just all seem to work better than the newer like Arsenal stuff. We did get a big piece, the pendulum squat from Atlantis.
Yeah.
But one of my members actually bought it for the gym as a gift, so that was very generous.
Tanner, you got to work on the members you got up there.
Yeah, we need more. To be fair, there's people that have chipped in some stuff, but maybe not that level of piece of equipment yet.
Yeah. So favorite thing is definitely the equipment, and my least favorite thing is the nickel and dime shit like toilet paper. Like,
yeah.
And I got a lot of women at my gym. Like I said, I had about 200 members, probably 70% are females, and they all have to wipe both times when they go to the bathroom. So
you want to be like, can some of you just shit at home before you come too?
Shit, piss, because again, I guess they have to wipe their fronts too, right?
Women.
Yeah, gotta keep those UTIs away. But like the paper towels, because I'm always running out of them. The hand soap, like I'm always yelled at weekly, like I'm missing something from the bathroom. And there's a Publix right up the street, and Publix is very expensive compared to other places. So if I'm in a rush, I'm spending even more money.
Yeah.
But
okay. So with the gym, like, is one more thing on the meets that I was thinking, is it fun running meets? I mean, do you enjoy it? Is it stressful, or is it fun, or is it just a combination of all
both.
that? Yeah.
So I'm in a weird spot. So obviously preparing for the meet and doing all the back end work, that's a little stressful because you have to keep everyone's name on the spreadsheet, track the payments, get the divisions right, put it in the open lifter program. And I'm sure I could delegate some of that, but maybe it's partly me being a control freak, but at the same time, if something gets fucked up, I want it to be something I could fix like on the spot because I know I messed up, then like figuring it out. The stressful part also is just always worrying about like the staff, like and the lifters and everything, just worrying about everyone else. I actually had a dream last night. It's funny you say that it was a Friday night, the meet was a Saturday, and for some reason I forgot to transport all the equipment. So I was scrambling to do that by myself.
Woke up in the middle of the night in a panic, and you're like, "Oh shit,
sweating.
Can't sleep the rest of the night." Yeah.
And then the fun part is just the actual meet itself. I mean, I think I run a pretty good meet in terms of it being fun for people. I get food trucks coming out. I always have a good venue, loud music, and everyone just seems to vibe well there. I've never said that word vibe out loud before. Sounds pretty stupid. But yeah, there's that. And a lot of lifters from my gym do the meet too. So it's just seeing them all compete as well. And I do coach a lot of them too. So really big multitasking.
Yeah. Have you ever done one of your meets? Like, is that possible?
No, I would definitely not do that. The only thing I've done at a meet or one of my meets was that one I told you about for the charity. So like in between everyone, I just squatted the 501 for reps and then went back to doing my job.
Yeah. That's cool. Big Jordan, since you listen to the podcast, you probably know about overrated, underrated. But just in case someone's tuning in for the first time, we'll explain it anyways. We've got this little game we like to play with every guest, and we've got a special Big Jordan set of topics for you. And you have your druthers to elaborate as much or as little on each one. You can vibe with it however you want to. But you just have to remember that you can't ride the line. You got to decide if each one is.
I feel like one of these is going to be about Chinese food.
Don't spoil anything, damn it.
Play the game.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Are you looking at our cheat sheet?
I am not. I'm just guessing.
Okay. All right. Overrated, underrated. Toyota Tundras.
Overrated.
Really?
Like I have one. I like it. Yeah. But the best thing about it is the front camera. So like you got a camera on the front, the sides, and the back. But I'll say it's a little overrated for the price tag. But I think any vehicle is once you start driving it.
That's I agree with that.
Any truck especially.
Yeah, yes.
Right? Oh.
Yep.
I will say for Like, so I'll just say the truck was, I think, 62. The other trucks, like the GMCs, I feel don't look as cool as mine.
Yours does look really cool.
Yeah. And like it's funny, like I always go to the store or gas station or whatever. They're like, oh, you got that TRD Pro stuff. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means, but apparently it's awesome. Like I've never driven off-road in my life, not on purpose at least.
But you could if you wanted to. So
I could.
The options there.
Like I have to press certain buttons that I have in the car or in the truck, but I don't know what they mean. So
okay. Good answer. Overrated or underrated? Wong from Marvel.
Dude, I don't even know what that is.
Have you ever seen Doctor Strange?
I have, but I didn't pay attention because it was stupid as fuck. I did not like it. Very boring.
Doctor Strange is not a very good one.
Yeah, I've watched some of the Avengers movies and I've seen bits and pieces of a lot of them, but I'm the guy that's like, so he hears you got to save for the credits. So I save for the credits. And I don't know what that means. Like, I don't get it. I'm a terrible Asian, not a good superhero nerd or any of that shit. So,
well, and this guy's name is even Wong. So yeah, you're not holding up that one very good. So by default, we're going to say that you have to say that one's overrated because you've never even heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with overrated just because Doctor Strange as like a standalone movie is overrated. At a certain point, I was like, not all these people need their own movie. Like some of these aren't good stories.
Yeah, like I was watching it, I remember, and I just kind of tuned out. I was like, can't follow it. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think that's
strange.
Fair. Yeah,
it was very strange.
I probably got a good guess on your answer to the next one because it's been hit on a couple times here already. But overrated or underrated? Publix.
I'll say underrated.
Okay.
I talk shit about the prices, but it's the best grocery store you're going to go into.
Is it? So what's good about them? Because I don't think they exist in this part of the country.
No, I mean they're big in Florida and like around there, but not up. We don't have them.
There's two big reasons why they're good. One, their subs are great, and two, it's not Walmart. That's really it. Like, it sounds like a joke, but I will like pay more money to not go to Walmart.
Yeah.
I hate Walmart.
I'm just thinking out loud, what like if you probably know this in what is it? Punta Gorda is if you go like across the bridge from Port Charlotte, is that the town that's across the bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to the Celtic Ray before? It's
I've been there.
Okay, is that overrated or underrated? I've been there.
Overrated because they all got that like nerd beer I don't know about.
That's true. That is right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about Gators? What about Gators? Have you ever been there? Like it's a wing spot in.
I've never been there, but I think my mom used to talk about their wings.
Yeah.
It was either there or Boomers, but I think it was Gators, but I don't think I've ever been there.
Okay. I wouldn't want to be a bar called Boomers right now. You know, like no one under 50 is coming in.
I don't even know if they're still around.
Okay. Okay. Last topic here for you. Overrated or underrated? American Chinese food. You guessed it. You guessed the last. You knew what it was already.
I mean, it's really good. I guess I'll say I don't know. I can't read the line.
Yeah.
So let me think out loud. American Chinese food. So that means you're not getting dog. You're not getting cat. You're getting General Tso's chicken, which is probably low quality chicken, but it tastes really good. But everyone eats it anyways.
It is good.
Yeah, maybe some sesame chicken, maybe.
Yeah, orange chicken.
I'm gonna say underrated because you have those people that act like they're all dirty, gross restaurants. I mean, even if they are,
just taste the food. Yeah, taste the food and tell me you don't like it. Because
if there's a cockroach on the wall, who gives a fuck? The chicken tastes great.
Have you had a good egg roll before? It's fucking good. Like I'm not gonna pass that up.
Funny story. The only reason why I live here is my father's the Chinese one. My mom was the yellow hunter. She's the white one. And they moved here from upstate New York or New Jersey to open up the first Chinese restaurant in Northport. called the China Walker. So they had the first American Chinese restaurant. And
Awesome.
Yeah. Now there's like fucking 50 of them, but
do they still have, I mean, is that still,
no, they sold it when I was like 11 and they went and got like college degrees and shit.
So does your dad, did he have like the restaurant menu and then like, oh, we're going to make good Chinese food at home, and he had a different menu for that?
Not really. So like he'd make me like noodles and stuff for the Chinese food at home. I had 4 cats growing up and he never killed any of them, fed them to me. So I was lucky there because I really loved them. But other than that, just the noodles were good.
I think good ham fried rice from a good Chinese restaurant is so good. I could eat like that by the 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah. Like do you know the Panda Inn? What was in Port Charlotte?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
So it was an all-you-can-eat Chinese buffet, and they failed like every health inspection ever and closed down. But it was so good. Like,
hey,
I would so eat there knowing.
Who's the big bodybuilder that had a gym in Port Charlotte? Maybe he still does. He's almost kind of has like a Hulk
His name's
Hogan.
Mel Chansey.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He's friends with Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
So he's buddies with Hulk Hogan. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, one of his best friends comes to my gym and owns the hurricane shutter company, actually, Tropic Storm Protection. But yeah. So Mel, he lives in Northport, had the gym in Port Charlotte, and I never really went to that gym. But I do believe when he owned it, that was like the most popular gym in Port Charlotte because he was there.
Does he still have that, or is that
No, he sold it to some people.
Is it still in that same location? Yep. Yeah.
So actually in that same plaza, there's a CrossFit gym, and that's where I put on a lot of the powerlifting meets that I hold.
Okay.
So right on the other end.
Yeah, I was actually, it was crazy. One of the years I was there, I was eating out at a restaurant, and that dude walked in, and I'm like, obviously into lifting and stuff, and I'm like, I didn't talk to him, but I'm like, holy shit, who is this dude? And then I went to a gym to get a day pass like the next day, and I'm like, it's this guy owns the gym. And then I looked him up, and I don't know if he is a former like IFBB pro or what, but he has the look of it for sure.
Yeah, I don't know his bodybuilding background, but I do know if you like continue to Google him, he was like a convicted felon Hells Angels guy.
Okay.
That's now like not that, and like I think he's very religious, and he puts on a lot of bodybuilding shows in town now.
Okay.
So he's a big promoter of bodybuilding.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting kind of, if anyone listening to this is from Port Charlotte, they're going to be super excited about all the Northport.
I don't think anyone's probably the people from my gym. Maybe
yeah, they'll check it out. They'll be like, we didn't know there was going to be so much Northport talk in this.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Good news. It looks like you passed overrated, underrated. So.
Oh, good. I was hoping for more.
Well,
Tanner
we usually just do 4.
Tanner threw a couple bonus ones in there even.
Yeah, you're kind of cheating, like knowing all of them before we even, usually like
very obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these eyes. Come on.
You read us like a book. Yeah. What style tattoo art is that on your arm there?
I don't know. You just drew shit on it. It's the I guess technically it's like Polynesian. Okay. Then I got one of the cats that I have that died. But yeah, I'm that guy.
What's the cat's name?
Midnight.
Good name.
Yeah,
good
she's
name
dead
for a
now.
black cat. Yeah.
Well,
I think original. I saw a couple things on your Instagram page about cats anyways too. So do you like dogs too, or are you just more of a cat guy?
So I just always had the cats growing up. So I guess I just was a cat guy by default. Well, in my current life, like I like dogs, but I don't think it's funny I say this because I have a fucking child, but I'm not around enough to take care of a dog. Go home, walk it, take it out to eat. I mean, they're talking take it out to eat, take it out to shit.
Yeah.
Like with my daughter, like I split the custody with her mom. It's pretty much 50-50, but also she's at daycare and school all day. So
right.
Like, yeah. So
and also when you have kids though too, it is you're like the pets. You're like,
the pets take a back step.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, I don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. We'll see how everything shakes out today. And if we're lucky, then it's your turn.
Yeah.
Right. So to get her to shut up, sometimes I FaceTime Santa. There's like a YouTube video where like you can FaceTime him whatever. So every time he's like, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" She's like, "A puppy." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. We're not getting a puppy."
Because is your daughter about 5-ish or somewhere in there or something?
She'll be 4 in August.
Okay, yeah. We've both got kids about that same age, so we get it too.
Yeah.
Might have to
Mine's
try
a
that
little
Santa
shit.
trick.
Oh, it works.
We usually like Santa's more of a threat. Like, you know, if you don't.
Yeah. No, I've been doing that lately too. I'm like, "Do you want me to call Santa? Like, pick your shit up." And she's like, "Don't call Santa." I'm like, "It's May. I'm gonna do this forever."
At least for like
Oh
the
shit!
next
Doesn't
4
even know
years.
what month it is.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. We really appreciate you coming on. We got to talk about getting you to Western Northeast South Dakota one of these, if not this year, maybe next year. And when I'm down in Florida next, I'm going to look you up and come. You can teach me how to squat wide.
Okay. You don't have to look me up. Just message me on Instagram. We're friends on there.
No, I think
Or
you should look you up. I like
text
to
And
think
you,
of Tanner
and you have
looking
my
you up.
phone number.
I like your vibe, so I think we can make something happen. Anything you want to get out there? Well, like, how do people check out the gym, or if they want you to coach you, anything like that?
Yeah, so if you need to contact me, my Instagram is Wong, W-O-N-G, Stwong, S-T-W-O-N-G. The gym's name is Showcase Strength and Fitness. It also has an Instagram called Showcase Strength and Fitness.
That makes sense.
I had a website. I let the domain expire, so I don't have a website anymore. And I didn't really know how to update it anyways because I'm a fucking idiot. And yeah, that's about it.
Awesome.
All the information for the powerlifting meets I put on are on both of those Instagrams. And that's it.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks, Jordan. We appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Jordan.
Thank you. I'll see you.
See you later.
See ya.
Cut him off. Now that he's gone, we can finally talk shit about him.
You got some Florida cool beans.
Yeah. We didn't ask him about the weather, but those beans probably aren't.
Oh.
Those beans probably aren't all that cool in Florida right now.
Probably
are
getting
they?
warm this time of year.
Yeah. Well, it's worth talking about. Well, that was fun. First of all, I knew
Yes,
Jordan
it
would
was.
be a fun guy to have on, but we're trying the last 2 episodes, this one and with Big Laws last week. We actually did I don't know if we talked about this. We actually did the interview via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
So we are on video with Laws, and now this week, Big Jordan. Last week we weren't recording video on it. We're trying recording video on it this week, so we'll see.
So if you check out the YouTube, or even if you don't, check out the YouTube this week. There might be Jordan's face on the video.
If this works like we think it potentially could be working, at the very least, this is still the excellent audio and video presentation that we bring you each week. But possibly there's potential that Jordan's video may be a part of the YouTube now also.
Yeah, as soon as we found out that you could record the audio track separately in Zoom, it was like, oh, that option opens up a whole new world.
Yeah.
So,
and some of this stuff, it is just, and we talked about it a lot of times with this distance podcasting. It has just been over time figuring out these other things.
just
like
little tricks.
There's no manual on this shit.
No,
like,
there's not. There's not.
And there's so many different alternative, minor, different ways to do everything. It's like, this doesn't work with our setup. This does, and like it is a process of figuring this out over time. And just when you think, no, I think we got it all figured out, we got it optimized. It's like, well, looks like we actually could do this and try that. And
you could ask 50 different people that do remote podcasts how they do it, and I'm fairly certain you will get 50 very different answers. There is just no consistent. It's whatever works for you and your audience and your editing, and there's just so many different, and not even that, your guests too. There's just so many pieces to it that it's.
That's part of it then too. So even if the video of it works out and we can put our guest, Jordan's video on YouTube, it might not be like that every time, because we have some guests that
struggle. We have some guests that struggle to answer the phone. So asking them to get into Zoom is a big ask.
But that's also why, for anyone listening last week and this week, you might notice just at the very start of our guest and the very end of our guest, it feels slightly different than the timing of when it's on our typical phone call, because there's not as much of a, like, yes, I hung up the phone
Zoom,
right now. Like,
Zoom, anyone, if you've ever done a Zoom meeting, there's always that buffer of like waiting for someone to get in, and they're waiting to turn their camera on and their microphone and that whole thing.
So it's probably like, it's as a listener, it's like maybe like a 2 or 3 seconds. You might not even hardly notice there's any difference, but that is why there's a difference. Well, that's what's going on right here. And it is fun doing the interviews like that. I think like after these last 2 weeks, I'm like, it's a different
there's
a different element.
Yeah.
To
Otherwise
it.
you sort of just get in a daze, and then you're just kind of like picture. It's like when you listen to a podcast, you might just be picturing in your head what that person is maybe doing or saying. Whereas this is like, no, you're actually looking right at them and seeing what they're doing.
Right. And you see when you say something, if they're smiling or, there's like just that, the nonverbal feedback that you get that you don't get. I mean, the other way still works just fine. And we've had some great conversations that way too, but this is interesting difference. It is interesting to try this out like this.
Yeah. This could be the next big thing, Tanner. This just might
also do make sure another reason to be subscribing to our YouTube channel though, right? I mean,
absolutely.
If you're not, you're just a big dumbass at this point.
A big, stupid,
big old
dumbass.
Big old hairy dumbass.
And not to mention all the gym hacks we have going on our YouTube all the time.
God. Special cameo in this week's video by Larry Legend. Don't miss that.
Stay tuned.
So you said there's no real big new juicy commercial gym news. That's just been a little slower.
Yeah, no, not really. It really is pretty slow this time of year. No, at this point I have gone at noon enough that I, for the most part, don't even really get that surprised when I see people come in there. Just for the most part, I recognize all the faces. Like I've seen you a lot. I have seen a couple different people in the last week or two wearing. They look like athletes, and they're wearing
Massenomics gear.
They're wearing clothing that correlates to one of the large colleges in the couple 100-mile radius. And it's like, okay, you're probably a basketball player. You clearly look like you play football. And so you're getting, I think, some more of those, like, colleges kind of winding down here. So probably some of those coming home or just on a little break. But that's about all I've noticed, really.
Did you see? I think I might have sent you a snap today. The exciting news at Massenomics Gym this week was a little change of programming on the gym television. Did you?
Yeah. How are you? I'm curious how you're doing that down there.
I pretty advanced stuff now, but I do have YouTube on the TV now via Roku stick.
Okay. I was wondering if that's what you did or not.
Never done that before. I've always thought about it. And the other day, I'm like, why don't I just try that?
They are like $30. They're so cheap. It's crazy how cheap those things actually are.
Well, I thought about the TV itself even. I'm like, this TV we have in there is at least 15 years old. I bought it new, and it's really small. Old. It's got a funny line in the center of it.
And it's got a thick bezel. Those don't exist anymore.
But I also like it's part of the, because I'm like,
it is part of the charm is that it is old. Yes.
Right. And that's why I'm like, I could go buy a brand new TV, probably a 10 times bigger one for like $300. But I'm like, kind of when I started, it's funny, when I started the gym, I specifically did not want any TVs.
Oh, we talked about it.
Yeah, that was of like a hard and fast rule. I'm like, because that was part of what I didn't like at the Y is
but
like
this
people
TV
sitting.
Is way different. Than, it's not playing the Weather Channel and the nightly news and
that's
Sports
why I don't
Center.
want people standing around watching Sports Center and the news.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Like I'm like that's the wrong vibe for our gym in my opinion. So that's why when we did add it, it was all just like the gimmick was just DVDs on repeat, which I still think is the funnest and funniest. But a spinoff of that now, it's on right now. It's on the Massenomics YouTube competitions
playlist. Do we have a playlist actually? Okay.
Yeah, and there's maybe like 14, 15 videos, and it's mostly all competitions from like 2015 to 2019.
The thing is, a lot of guys are gonna like that video though.
Even just today, like I got it going before I started my lift, and then you kind of go to the other side and you're lifting, and once I came back over, I was like, oh, what is on there? And then I was like, it caught me like 3 times, and I'm like, oh, that is so interesting. And then like seeing some of the people, I'm like, God, I've almost like forgot about that person by now. And it was it's really, I think it's I mean, obviously I'm gonna like it, but I think it's a fun twist for a while.
It was like one of those, it was like the Massenomics party we had that was above the gym that one year, remember? And we just turned on, it was the same thing. The party started playlist, and on the TV we put the Massenomics competition playlist, and like when the night started, we were kind of talking and everything, and then later on, we're all just sitting around. No one's even really talking. To watch. We're all just watching the competition.
It's interesting because it is
because then you're like, oh yeah, look, oh Ryan, look what you do right here, and, and then remember this, and you start going down memory lane, and it gets
actually
really
like
fun.
the meet came on where you're where we tell the story about how you were sick, with this, and I'm like, oh yeah, that was when Tommy had the shits, and there you squat, and you missed your third attempt squat or something, I'm like, yeah, he had the shits, and was just barely able to get squatting there, and it is just funny to watch that. I also thought about putting it on the podcast playlist, and then that doesn't work because our TV usually doesn't really even have volume on.
Or if the volume's
barely
on,
does.
Yeah, you still can't hear it because the music's so loud.
Right. But then I'm like, it's a funny thought because it would take a month for it even to get through playing 24/7. It would take a month to actually get through the.
That is good. Well, but you do have the option now to basically just throw it on Massenomics and see what it spits out at you.
So can you do that? Can you just say
we could go into the channel and just make a playlist of everything,
Yeah, right. But it seems like maybe you can do that though. Anyways, that seems like
there probably is a way. I've never
just
been so into someone's
playlist.
Channel. I've never been so into someone's channel that I just wanted it to play 24/7. So I don't have a ton of experience there.
I'm sure there's a way. It took me, doing the vanity of it being our own channel to want to play it 24/7. Did you have something about Barbend in here?
Yeah. Did you see the news regarding them?
No.
Oh, you didn't hear about this?
No. Is this big? Is it big? Actually, big news or? It's about them. It's not news by them.
It's about them.
Oh, I'm intrigued. I have suspicions just of my own.
Oh, wow. Okay. This isn't actually on their Instagram. It's on. Okay. And this is also very funny to me. So as someone that has been on the Barbend podcast twice.
Yeah, you have been twice. That's right. Yeah. and they've done multiple articles about us too.
Yeah. David Thomas Tao has interviewed me. Did you know that he's the co-founder of Barbend?
I thought maybe something like that. Yeah, I guess
I didn't know what his level was in there.
I think I did know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know he was the co-founder, which is very funny to me, but, he had a screenshot of a tweet, that's how all good news is on Instagram, a screenshot of a tweet, right?
And that's some of my favorite.
He posted this yesterday.
Tweets.
That's right. He said, in 2016, I co-founded Barbend.com. In 2022, we had over 31 million users and drove $19 million in gross merchandise value. We just got acquired. So Barbend got purchased.
Pillar 4?
I don't know who actually bought them. I didn't look into it that far, but interesting to see that. And then he also had I want to find
Disney.
Oh, it's on us. Okay. So he said, I did not realize this. Barbend, it says, has 18 full-time employees. Would you ever guess that?
Wow. No. I assume that a few full-time employees, but not that many.
And then it says they've published 10,000 articles, and they must have got it says 800,000 in a seed round funding in 2017. So I'm curious how much. I would assume the buyout was fairly high.
Yeah, I I hope that
they keep it real.
This buyout doesn't negatively affect the Massenomics attention that they divvy out. They share our memes, they get us on the podcast, they do articles based on stuff we got going on.
I like to think that they get acquired and someone's going to do a deep audit. Someone acquired them, but they didn't look into their social media at all. And now they're going to do a deep audit and be like, okay, yeah, we kind of see what you guys did with social media, but what really stands out to us is occasionally you repost these Massenomics guys, and those guys are solid gold.
Yeah, what's their story? Are they for sale?
Can we acquire them as well?
Can they become our sixth pillar?
Yeah. They are the missing pillar. We must acquire them.
I like that.
Yeah, interesting to see. I'd imagine Barbend, it is somewhat faceless. There's not faces to it. in the way that's a lot of other things are. So I can't imagine it'll change a whole lot from an outsider's perspective, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that whole thing.
I've got something in here. Do you know what this, it's at the top of the list. I don't know if you're looking at the list, but do you know what, when you see that one word topic item, do you know what I'm going to talk about there?
Stanley steamer, Stanley from The Office, Flat Stanley, Stanley Kubrick, Stanley the Manly.
All wrong.
Oh, okay.
So I'm curious if you know about this or not, or if it'll be new to you.
Do
you know about this stupid ass Stanley water bottle craze?
No. Well,
look up this.
I know what a Stanley water bottle is.
Yeah.
Like a Hydro Flask, right? Or a
Yeti
kind of.
Yeah. They're everywhere.
I have seen that. I have heard that they're somewhat popular.
We have like 3 that popped up in our household in like the last 6 months. And, it was a couple months ago for the first time. I'm like, Stanley, I just was thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, why is I assume it's Stanley Tools, the same brand. Why are they now why do we suddenly have more of these than we do Hydro Flasks and what's the other popular one? Yetis. Also, in our house, we probably have, God, I don't know, 25 Hydro Flask, Yetis, Stanleys. What did people do 20 years ago? How did people have
piss warm water all the time?
What containers did people put water in back then? Because everyone has these things all over the place.
A canteen.
Yeah. I guess it was just igloo coolers.
Probably, yeah. Okay, I don't think this Stanley is the same as the tool company.
It's not. Okay, that's confusing to me. I never looked into it.
Yeah, so it does not appear that the Stanley, the Thermos company, has anything to do with tools from what I can see on their website.
Okay.
But yeah, I didn't know that they had this modern, because when you think, until recently, when you thought Stanley, you thought the old classic thermos,
Yeah.
that was what they had. And then there's a regional sporting goods store around here called Shields. And it was probably about a year ago, they had their thermoses, but it had this newer logo, and it seemed a little sleeker and cooler and more modern. I thought, oh, this is a new look for them. This is interesting. And that was all I thought of it. And then, yeah, like you said, in the last couple months, I've started to see, it's especially with them, it seems like the popular style is this more of the coffee mug thermos style, right?
Well, the ones I see everywhere are they're 40 ounces, and they have a tapered bottom to fit in a cup holder, and they have a straw built into the lid.
Yeah, but it has an actual mug stem.
Yes, it's got a bit, but they're big. They're really big. Every cubicle desk at my work that I walk by, that's what I noticed when we had a few of those. Then the next day at work, I'm like, everyone has that. There was one sitting on every desk, and a year ago, it would have been a Hydro Flask or it would have been a Yeti.
Yeah.
And now I was like, wait a second, every desk has a Stanley on it. And I'm like, what happened to their Yetis? Those should be lifetime indestructible products.
I think what it is, I think it's a couple things here. And I think this is why this market works so good is, one, it's expensive. And so, but it's not
$50. Yes, I'm just looking it up right now.
Yes, so it's expensive, but it's not so expensive that people can't afford. It's not like you're buying jewelry.
No,
but
you
it's
can
a
just buy
premium water. If you want to buy water bottles, you can get a water bottle for a couple bucks, or you can buy one for $50, which is significantly more expensive. So it makes a good gift for someone. To say
true.
Hey, I know there's a world of $2 water bottles, and you probably have some of them, but I bought you a $50 one. Actually, in the scheme of things, I didn't spend that much money, but you have the nicest water bottle you can get.
Right.
So
you now have the nicest water bottle.
So
and you might not have bought this yourself, but
and then it is that water, my beverage holder. Beverages are such a personal thing for people. Bubbly, sparkling water, and beverages are everyone has their little beverage. And so then when you have this expensive little receptacle to hold your beverage in, I think it's one of those things that it's they're precious, people really, really latch onto it and love it. And so if you can keep feeding people new expensive shapes and colors to put their beverages in, they just got to keep buying them.
They are not the same company. Stanley Tools and Stanley Thermos, Stanley Black & Decker is a separate company, and I'd never even looked at it into it to that extent. So that, first of all, makes a little more sense to me. Also kind of confusing of the two prominent brands of the same name like that. That's a little bit.
I mean, you're kind of not giving Stanley Steamer enough credit, I don't think. Here.
Oh, that's true. The only thing I think of when I hear Stanley Steamer is like taking a shit. Isn't that like
yeah. I know.
Like some weird sexual act or something?
I think
of
that's the
shitting
Cleveland Steamer.
Oh, okay. But what about my point of this then, though? Because you would agree everyone has a Yeti or a Hydro Flask or both. At
this point, if you don't have a Yeti, a Hydro Flask, or now a Stanley, I'd say you've done an amazing job avoiding trends in modern culture.
Right. But these are stainless steel, almost like virtually like through normal wear and tear, indestructible.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the Yetis?
No, that's the thing I'm saying. It's gifting. And it's just hoarding is what it is. Like, it's those two things. That's what it is. It's gifting and hoarding.
Yeah,
it's the my precious thing. That's what it is. It's mine. It's mine. I need it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
I have, it's funny, thinking out loud, I've had 3 Hydro Flasks in my life. One of them I bought and lost. I actually lost at the Arnold one year. 2 of the other ones were gifts to me. And then I have 1 Yeti of like the little short coffee mug that Yeti makes, and that was also a gift to me. So
I've got one of those at work. Yeah, I do have one of those.
Yeah, I don't actually really like the flavor of coffee out of it that much.
I agree. I like a ceramic mug way better for my coffee.
It does not. I like the feeling, the heft of it, and holding it, but I do not like the taste of coffee out of a stainless steel. Any stainless steel tumbler.
I actually don't know that I like the shape of that stainless steel handle either in comparison to a ceramic
I get what you're
mug.
saying there. I think it's
like
just the novelty. I think it's the novelty of it feels, it's like metal and all this. But I don't think coffee, if I ever have we have multiple tumblers, coffee out of a metal tumbler, I think is always not as good.
My other thing about that is I don't keep, like, I drink a cup of coffee at a time, and I don't keep it around for half of a day.
Yeah.
And I don't need it to stay extra hot, extra long. Like, when I pour a cup of coffee, I want to be able to drink it. And when you put it inside of something stainless steel, and if you put a cover on it, I'm like, this fucking thing stays hot for like...
you can't. You have to leave the lid off because it's too hot. It's at the burning point for way too long.
And so I don't keep my coffee around so long that I need it to stay hot for hours. I'm like, I'm drinking this cup of coffee.
The game I would get into is I'd take the lid off, waiting for it to cool down, and then I'd put the lid back on. Well, at that point, I'd waited too long. So then I've just locked in like lukewarm coffee at this point. And I also am notorious for, like, while I'm sitting here, if I have a cup of coffee, preferably in the Massenomics mug back here, I'll pour. Actually, that one's the display. That's the display unit. The other unit's in the cupboard.
Don't put them in the dishwasher.
I do. I put them in the dishwasher. It held up surprisingly well for me.
I was having a conversation with Grant from the Strength Co. the same way, and he said his are perfect. He puts it's had no issues, and I think there's just some of those in the batch were bad.
Yeah.
It's just
mine's getting a few scuffs, but also it gets thrown into the bottom of the sink, and I do not. If I bought that from a store, instead of taking it out of inventory, I'd be like, well, yeah, if it's scratched, that's on me. I've given no care to that thing at all.
Right.
But I will always pour a cup of coffee, and I'll sip on it. When the first 5 minutes, 10 minutes are the best, then it starts to cool down, and I'll just be sitting here. I'm like, whatever. I'll drink that coffee when it's 3 hours later, when it's like totally at room temperature and no good. It's like I don't even care anymore. It's whatever. Right. Some people like coffee temperature matters big time.
Yeah.
I'm not really one of them.
I do not like how hot coffee is coming out of, I'm like, it's not drinkable.
Burning hot. Yeah, that's too much.
I don't. And a lot of times I'm drinking coffee as a pre-workout before the gym. Like, I'll be at work and I'm like, all right, I'm going to have my coffee and then I'm going to go to the gym. And I'm kind of like, all right, I'm going to want to have my coffee now and then go to the gym. And I'm like, okay, this is scalding. And I don't know. I'm sure I bet our beverage container discussion is offensive to some people that have other takes on this. You know, I bet that there's they have personal evidence to support the need for a vast collection of stainless steel containers.
I get why people like this stuff, but at the same time, I just usually don't care enough to actually.
Yeah. I'll use a cheap old shitty thing and not think twice about, I
just so rarely take beverages like with me. You know, now that we got kids, you get kids and a wife and you realize like how beverages need to be with you at all times.
Right.
And I'm just for me, beverages are a lot of the same way of you view a coat. It's like, it's just another thing to keep track of.
That's true.
So given the option, I will be like,
it's like a coat, your coat, your sunglasses, and your coffee thermos.
I'll put up with sunglasses all day, but it's like, something to drink. No, I'll just find a water fountain. I don't want to carry this around and stuff it in here and have it in this bag, and then it's in the car, and then I forgot it here. And
that's actually part of a bigger conversation that I have with my wife, where her and I disagree on this, is just fluids habits in general. Her and I take a very vastly different philosophy to this. I will fill up a 30-ounce glass of water, and my intention is to drink the water, and I drink the water, and then
I know exactly where this is going.
So I don't need frequent sips all day long of water because I am hydrated from I drink a large, I drink significant amounts of water at a time. So then I don't thirst for frequent, constant sips of water.
I 100% agree with you. For me, drinking water isn't, unless it's a little fizzy water.
Right.
Drinking water isn't like a recreational thing. It's like a job. It's like, like the alarm goes off for thirsty, and it's like, all right, I have to I have to stop the alarm, which requires drinking like a minimum of 8 ounces of water.
Right.
And then it's like, all right, the alarm has been stopped. We're good for another couple hours.
Yeah.
But also my philosophy is if I'm not going to the gym, my default state is usually like, nope, just don't get thirsty and don't drink. I could go like I need to wake up and eat some breakfast and drink some water. But then like through the workday, I could go from 8 until 5 p.m. and not drink a single thing. And I don't even know if I'd think about it, honestly. I don't, drinking water doesn't even, like going to the gym is good though. Yeah. Going to the gym, it's almost like a thing to do between sets, like to spend some time. I'll go drink. That's like the only time you catch me just sipping on water.
Yeah.
But outside of that, no.
I do that at the gym too. I don't need
to bring a 16-ounce bottle of water with me to just like gingerly sip on it over the next 2 hours. It's just not worth the hassle, you know?
I agree.
But my wife, man, I'm so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. She'll get a bottle of water and literally drink 2 ounces of it. She's like, it's so much better. I'm like, you didn't even drink anything. You can't.
I haven't opened a bottle of water and drank in like a third of it in my life, I don't think. Like I open a bottle of water and I drink the whole thing almost every time. Or if you go to a gas station on a trip, I might buy a big one and drink like half of it in 5 minutes.
You're in a car, so maybe are pacing yourself, you know.
Right.
But yeah, in day-to-day life, water.
If I'm grabbing say we have a case of waters around and they're like how many ounces is that? Like 12 or 16 or whatever they are. 90% of the time, if I open that, I drink the whole thing in 1 minute or less. Mm-hmm. Probably usually in like 30 seconds.
It's because I want a drink, and that bottle contains a drink in it.
Like I almost always drink that entire thing and then crush it and throw it away. Like I can't imagine opening.
As God intended, right?
These frequent sips are like a pandemic on today's society, I think.
That's what the water fountain's for. It's the little sip machine in the corner. You go help yourself there. You don't got to carry anything.
Now, the water fountain, you do not get much water out of a water. When you drink out of a water fountain.
Some are good, you know?
Yeah.
It's like when you're in high school, you always knew like where the good water fountains were, you know? Like,
true.
This is the one that's got the pressure on it and it's cold and good.
The worst thing in the world is having to like get your mouth really close. Like it just trickles out. You're like, okay, this is horribly disgusting right now. Like I'm sucking the water out of here. Man, we had a couple at our high school that were really bad ones that I'm like, God, replace. Like I'm like,
well, it just reminds me when you're saying that of, you'd go to different schools in the area, for sporting events and things, and you'd see a whole range of upkeep and modernness on the drinking fountain systems. And I know exactly what you're talking about. You get those really bad ones that there's just nothing there.
We had one. I'm actually thinking about this now. We had one in our gym that people almost didn't use because it was so bad. But it's really funny. It was an in the wall water fountain, like it was recessed in the wall, but there was and it was like white ceramic. It was very old. It had to have been original to the school.
Oh no, it's like porcelain, isn't it?
Yes, porcelain.
Yes.
But it was a 2-part water fountain thing. The one you stuck your head in and the other one people just would spit in it.
Yeah, but that's what it was for, wasn't it?
I think so, but that's disgusting. That's
I remember
why did there need to be a spitter?
I remember our high school having the exact same thing. It had the white porcelain.
Yeah, the white porcelain, and the second one was a spitter, right?
And one was a spitter,
and some water would kind of barely trickle down there, as if it was cleaning up all that spit. I
totally forgot about that.
That was a spitting, that was a spittoon. People don't make those anymore because that's gross, right?
I'd be shocked.
They're like, oh wait, we don't need a separate one for just spitting.
I'm trying so hard to Google this. And find something, and the words I'm typing are drinking fountain, spitter, white porcelain.
I would say old porcelain water fountain spitter in a school.
I'm getting the other one you should type in though, Tanner, to take you down memory lane is type in the old LK drinking fountain, ELKAY. And you find some.
Is that
some
the metal?
That's the brand. Yeah. I saw a meme one day, and there's the more modern one that's kind of curved on the front.
Yes.
And then they have a different one that's shaped more like just a box, and the meme was something like, "It's 3 p.m. at school. You've been dying of thirst all day. Which one you going with?"
I hate the ones that are motion detected.
Oh god,
those never work. Right.
Yeah,
that technology is bad.
Because I remember there was the buttons on the front, but a lot of them, there was a few different styles. There was the button that was right on the little spigot, and then there was some that had more of a push lever, you'd push the throttle kind of with your thumb forward. Do you remember that?
Yeah, on the spigot there was a
right
twister.
On the spigot. So
I like
those.
Button,
there's a button and there's a
the
throttle
button
one.
sucks. The button put where it was a stainless steel button that you push down, and it's
and at some point it
barely would
corroded.
push though. It's push versus not push was a 1/16 of an inch. The push in was just so slight, where the turn throttle
you could really cut her loose and go.
Yeah, that was a much better control. What about the old porcelain spitter water fountain? That's definitely a thing though, but why doesn't that come up at all when I Google stuff like that?
We're just probably don't have the right words here. How about double porcelain water fountain? No, that's still not right.
Or did you say drinking fountain?
Maybe that's what it needs to be. Because water fountain, I keep getting fountains that you see in a garden.
Right.
No, these still aren't quite looking right.
I did find one. 1953 porcelain school drinking fountains.
Oh, here we go.
1953 porcelain school drinking fountains. They're not in the wall. They've been taken out, but there is the 2-piece system.
Yep, there it is.
That's it.
Both
and
parts.
That second one is just a spitter, I think.
Uh-huh.
Or isn't it or not? Or maybe this is just 2 of them and one doesn't have the spout on it. But that's the right look of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. The other one, it did have just that spigot at the top where it would just sort of drip down, right? That's what you're...
Yeah. That's what you remember too, right?
Yeah. Our high school, had the armory in it.
Yeah. There's definitely one in there.
Yeah. And that's how it was, is it had... do all states do that, or is that just a South Dakota thing?
I don't know. The armory thing, or gyms, armories attached
gyms
to schools.
Shared with the National Guard armory.
I don't know. It's a very common thing, or used to be. I think less common now. I don't think people are doing, that's...
Yeah, it seems like
people aren't building things that way.
Yeah, the National Guard kind of has its own spots now.
Right. That was a really interesting second half of podcast discussion, I think. That's I think some people tune in almost specifically for what we talk about after the guest.
Some people are gonna have a little trip down memory lane there.
Yeah. If she never had a porcelain spitter water fountain, she's too young for you, bro. I mean, people were like hawking loogies in that at basketball practice, and I think that's so. I thought it was gross then. I actually didn't spit in it because the whole thing grossed me out. That I was like,
see, we had in the wrestling room. We had this one when I'm looking at the old LK lineup here. It's the doubles where they're right next to each other, and one's like 6 inches. They're touching, but one's like 6 inches higher than the other. And
like,
it was always
also it's like 6 inches too. It's like barely different.
One's for I guess people that are 6 inches shorter than everyone else, but they can't reach this one that's 3 feet off the ground. But that was always the thing in the wrestling room. Don't spit in the sink because everyone would, or don't spit in the fountain. There's a garbage right next to it. Like the coach is just always yelling at everyone. It's like, you spit in the garbage. But I don't know. You get running, you get kind of that phlegmy stuff going on. It's always in the winter time. Everyone's kind of got that crud
I'm not
going
a spitter
around.
though, I think.
Oh,
is my
I
thing.
am. Oh,
yeah.
I could wake up in the morning and I gotta that's 80% of what taking a shower is. It's like the steam and everything just clears me out.
Spit. I'm more of a nose blower. I'm a nose blower in the morning.
That too, though. But all of it. It's just everything settles. My wife's like, you make way too many noises when you're taking a shower. I gotta clear everything out.
What are all those things? What's all going on there? But like even at, basketball, football practice and stuff, I never there's people spitting constantly. I didn't all that often have the urge to spit. It was almost more like a forced thing to just try sometimes. It was like, some people are some people were like spitting experts though.
They were.
They could shoot a flea off of a horse's back from 10 yards.
Some people it was definitely like it was something to pass the time.
Well, and this is particularly disgusting, but some people are like loogie hawking experts too. I'm like, how do you have to hawk so many loogies?
I know.
Some people, there wasn't a day that went by at a practice that I didn't see them hawk a loogie. I'm like, what's wrong with your? You need to go to an ENT.
Honestly, though, I think that is the case because I still do have some of that, and it is. I have the worst allergies in the world.
Right,
and it is like I'm just thinking. Last night I was taking the dog for a walk, and there was probably 10 times while I'm walking down the street while I'm like spitting because I just like have all this congestion all the time. But for me, it is an allergy thing for sure.
Allergy season. They haven't really hit me too bad yet. I don't know what I don't even know what my allergies even are specifically, but it hasn't hit me. But weather's been awesome. I don't know. I assume it's been nice there too, but it's just been so nice every day. And
yesterday was
go for bike rides every night with my daughters, and it's just like the bugs haven't come out yet. It hasn't been windy. It's like every night is almost like a picturesque night. I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice right now.
Yeah, last night was the one where you're walking and you think, I actually can't really feel a temperature right now. I can't actually, if you told me to say, is it hot or cold? I'd have a really hard time coming to any conclusion there. It just doesn't really feel like it. It feels like room temperature right now. And then when there's no wind, it's oddly quiet and everything. But yeah, it's been really nice around here. Today is the first time that I've started to notice some mosquitoes out though. So
okay, I haven't yet.
It's been
but
colder up there, but they'll be coming your way soon, I'm sure.
Today was, I think, almost 80 degrees though here even. So
it was going to be
really
nice out.
It's going to be AC season here soon for us. Actually,
ours has been going. It's been in the mid 70s or higher. Basically all the time. So
I just tell everyone, get to the basement if you're hot.
That's the easiest way to do it. Yeah. Where it's like 60 degrees.
Yeah. We've got that half of the house for a reason. Use it. The earth is cooling that one rather than electricity. And nobody touched the thermostat. Actually, my wife is the main controller of the thermostat in our house.
My wife is just not aware of it. Otherwise, if she paid attention to it, it'd be set at 80 in the morning, be set at 65 by noon. Then at night in the afternoon, it'd also be 65 and then be like bedtime and go, why is it so cold in here? And it'd be back up to like 82. So yeah, for the most part, I just tell her to stay away.
You don't.
She's very reactionary when it comes to that thing.
You don't have government censoring Nest
thermostat. No,
thermostat.
I figure I don't need Google to know what temperature I keep my house.
Yeah.
Also, the amount of times I change my temperature, I
Yeah.
could maybe programmable. I'm here all day long. I just want it the same temperature. Like I don't leave the house and need it to shift up or down.
Go
like, no.
down.
Yeah, no,
20
I'm
degrees.
here
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the time. I just want it to be the temperature it is. So, and then on top of that, I just don't like Google. Google already probably knows way too much about all of us. So anything I can do to keep Google out of my stuff, I do that.
I couldn't. I don't have one of those, and I couldn't if I programmed. In theory, you should save on your energy cost if you program it to be like more moderate when you're gone,
Right?
And stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, that's the thing. Though,
We keep ours so damn moderate all the time. It'd be tough to squeeze many more pennies out of it'd be like in the winter, you're gone. Like, what do we want to turn it down to? Like 40? It's already at like 60 during the day.
There's also a point where it's just like, isn't it so kind of dangerous to just be cranking your house way down? And
right.
But the thought process is when you're at work, you do it more efficiently. But yeah, if you don't go to work, then what are we doing here?
Exactly. That's what I always say. What are we doing here? I'll tell you what we're doing here. We're talking about SPUD, our good yellow friends over at SPUD Ink Straps. Talking about, not referring like Jordan when he was talking about yellow. I'm talking about their straps are the color yellow at SPUD Ink, and that's spud-ink-straps.com. SPUD Ink started because the lifting straps available at that time were not tough enough to handle the daily punishment that comes with training as a powerlifter, or that could easily fit in your gym bag. SPUD Ink created their straps to withstand whatever your training puts them through. Finally, they have training gear that just works as hard as you do. Whether you're looking for belts, harnesses, deadlift straps, SPUD Ink has you covered. They've got you covered with belt squat belts. Just saw someone at the gym using one of those today. I just saw someone using
they weren't
SPUD
belt
Ink
squatting though, right? They were just wearing the belt.
They were just wearing it around. Just in case I want a belt squat, I have the belt on.
It's more efficient
check them out.
this way.
Much more efficient. spud-ink-straps.com. Free shipping on all domestic orders, $75 or more. Make sure to let them know your good friends, close personal friends at Massenomics sent you.
And today's episode is also brought to you by SwissLink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded SwissLink with the mission to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items for military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for SwissLink, he brings in everything you can imagine, from Swiss military rangefinders to Italian police tracksuits. SwissLink.com is also home to the SwissLink Classic wool blankets. They're an ideal mix of 80% wool and 20% recycled fibers. It's that special blend that provides a soft, luxurious feel while maintaining all the benefits of wool. The designs are reminiscent of brands that rhyme with Schwendelton and Schwudson Bay, but they're available for only a fraction of the cost. SwissLink's exceptional collection and dedication to quality customer service distinguishes them from the competition. Enjoy a 15% discount on your next purchase at SwissLink.com by entering the code MASS at checkout. That's MASS to save 15% at SwissLink.com. Thank you, SwissLink.
I actually just got an email from SwissLink today. They had some pretty cool Army surplus. I can't remember what country, bayonets, and they looked pretty cool. I had for a second there, I thought maybe I need one of these bayonets. And I haven't ordered one yet, but it's definitely on my radar.
It'd be a really good workplace desk item, I think.
Yeah. And if anyone gets out of line, I can just give them a little,
put the vibe out, right?
Yeah.
Hold out that
I might
vibe.
stab you if you say something I don't like vibe. Oh, should we bring this one in for the old homecoming? Wrap it up?
Yeah, I think we're done, aren't we? Is that
I
everything?
think we're done. That's everything.
Everything for now?
Everything forever. This is, I think, the last. Now with water fountains, we've officially covered it all.
I gotta wrap this up. I gotta go hit the LK here and get a little drink on.
I'm gonna get one of those installed in my house. Like,
now
you can all take your Stanley water bottles and get fucked. I've got a water fountain right here.
Cold water, just always ready to go at the push of a button. Now the popular style is the one that has the silhouette of the water bottle filler. If that's not a sign of how the times have changed, I don't know what is.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care for that. It looks too newfangled to me.
You're more of a traditionalist, none of this new age water bottle filling bull crap.
I also really don't like the motion sensor thing. Like, why does it even need to be like that? What's wrong? Is it cleanlier to not all be pressing the same thing? That's it then, I suppose.
Well, but what are you saying? Motion sensor on what?
Like to turn the water on, like there's no button. It's just like you have to lean, like the one at the Barnett Center at Northern there's no button. You just have to stand in front of it like lean over for it to turn on.
I don't think I've ever experienced one of those.
Next time you're in
I thought you were saying when
Center,
the motion sensor, you were talking about the water bottle filler, and I didn't really know how else you would do that. I mean, I guess you could have a button,
there's no button to push.
I haven't experienced one of those.
Yeah.
I'll have to swing by the Barnett Center the next time I'm in town and try out their water fountain.
Yeah. Like, and it's funny, like, it's like LK makes them. It's, the hands-free drinking fountain. Like the front of it where there's a button, there's like a clear black piece. Like,
that's
that
like
almost
the sensor?
that has like a sensor.
Yeah,
there.
I see this here. I didn't know what that actually was.
Yeah, those suck. Those are the worst. Because it never, like, you bend over and like water doesn't come out, and then you feel like a jackass because you're like,
who's the dumbass that doesn't know how to run a water fountain over here?
Right.
Well,
what would be the reason for that? Just so you're not all the people are touching the same little thing.
It's a high touch surface, I suppose. On the topic of some of the worst, and I'm saying the worst automated hands-free things, I think everyone can agree the worst is the Dyson hand blade air hand dryer. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look up that thing is it's shaped like a U and you put your hands into it. I do not
like those ones.
Whoever thought that was a good idea. It makes no goddamn sense. That thing is insane. So it's shaped like a U and you put your hand in.
Yeah.
And all I think of the whole time is like, I'm putting I'm like playing the game of Operation, dropping my hands into this thing.
I actually choose not to use that. I'll let my hands drift.
If I see that, I just shake my hands off and walk away. I never ever use it.
I like the classic old one that, it's got the chrome piece that comes and angles down and you put your hands underneath of it.
Yeah. Or now you get like those really high powered ones that,
that really,
that really blow. But this the Dyson Airblade is the worst ever. I'm not sure how those ever got sold in stores.
I'm sure I brought this up on the podcast before, but when I worked at Menards going through college, I went to the bathroom so many times there that I had memorized what the air dryer said on it, and it was save trees, eliminate paper towel waste, and maintain cleaner facilities with world warm air dryers. And I read that every time, like it was like an OCD thing, like that. Every time I just had to read that, and world warm air dryers. That's what Menards uses.
And you knew, well, what's on the top of every urinal? It's like the 3.8, 2.8 liters, 1 gallon per flush, or 3.8 liters, 1 gallon per flush.
Oh yeah, it's like 1.6 gallons per flush. Yeah. That's like,
and it's all like the same brand too. And I can't think of what those are now either.
Isn't there like Earl or something like that? Urinal brand.
Let's see.
I forget now. American Standard. Oh, Zern. That's what I'm thinking of. Zern.
There you go.
That's the one that you see everywhere.
Yep. That's the brand right there.
Yes. Zern. You see that all. But those automated flushers, I think those do work. Those have.
I think they got that system down pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That works pretty well. And that I appreciate, because that is one thing I'd prefer not to touch. Now that I'm very used to the automatic flushers, whenever there is one, if you have to, the little handle that comes out that you have to flush,
how do you urinal? You're saying?
Yeah, on a urinal. How do you touch that handle?
I honestly can't even think of the last time I was at a urinal that had an actual flushing handle
like that. Yeah,
I for real can't think of the last time I saw one.
My thing is, I refuse to go like this to it.
Open
my hand. I only go if I have to do one of those fist. and bop it down, because for some reason I'm like, this is less invasive if it just touches like the bottom of my hand rather than
and they're usually like sweating and dripping.
They
and
always
just
are.
wet.
Yes.
Everything's always all soggy.
always wet. Yeah, those have almost like all converted to automatic flushers though.
Yeah, you do not see
even and for that matter the toilets too. Like it actually catches me off guard. Sometimes I'll walk away from a urinal if it's not an automatic flusher and be like, oh wait, I guess I should have to flush this.
Say, oh, not my problem.
Yeah. Let the next guy swim in my own piss. Tommy, where do they find you? Well, make sure to buy our stuff, become a supporting member. We do have our Working Hard pocket tees for sale. We have our camo windbreaker, so you don't get blown away in the wind. You can really break wind in that thing. And we also still have our leather patch hat for sale. I like this thing. Tommy earlier was just talking about how he has been wearing the windbreaker every day. And
I like the patch hat too. I wear the patch hat too. I like it.
The favorite thing we've probably ever made for me is the Working Hard pocket tees. I've been wearing those all the time.
Just wearing the shit out of them.
I do wear, and they just work hard. They work hard just like you do. Tommy,
I did remember one more thing.
Okay.
I knew there was something I wanted to say and I could not think of it. There is a YouTube channel that I followed for a long time called the Company Man, and he just does just talking 10-minute videos on different companies.
Yeah.
And he had one just like a week or two ago on Menards.
Oh, nice.
And I did not realize Menards is still privately owned. I just assumed that once a company reaches that size that they are not a privately owned company anymore, but Menards is still privately owned. So I didn't, and then there was all types of other stuff about, the company in general and all that. But you as a former employee, you'd probably enjoy that video, Tanner. I'd recommend you watch that.
I just looked it up right now. I found it. I'm annoyed how the view count on that one is kind of low. I'm like, really?
Well, I think it's because it's so regional, people don't know,
That's I'm sure that's what it is. Right?
Yeah, I didn't realize that Menards, they play hardball. If Lowe's or someone's going to move into the area, they said in Chicago, it was Home Depot or Lowe's announced that they were going to come to a certain area, and it was 1 or 2 years out. Before they opened, Menards opened up 3 more locations within 2 miles of that location. So they say they play really tough with these other guys when they come into the area.
Oh, that's interesting.
One of the things they commented is also how, and see, I for the first time in my life live in a town with a Lowe's and a Home Depot.
Right.
And so not really familiar with those stores, but they were saying how when you go into either one of those stores, they
you're very used to Menards.
Yes, yeah, I'm used to Menards. And they're saying how Lowe's and Home Depot take way more of a warehouse look. If you took away their signage, for the most part, you might not even know what store you're in. Where Menards, it has the white tile floor, the white linoleum and the whole thing. Yeah. It is a little more polished in the way that they do that. It doesn't have it doesn't have that warehouse feel to it. I mean, it feels still like a store like that, but it feels a little more more lit. And then they also have the food section and some other odd sections in it, that don't exist maybe in those other stores.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was, you'll like the video. You should watch that.
Yeah, I will. I really saw Menards transform quite a bit in just the period of time that I worked there.
Really? Did it actually change while you're there?
Yeah. Specifically our store changed a lot. They went through some huge additions and remodels.
Oh, really? See, that's in my brain. That's just Menards has always been that way. I can't think of it not being like that.
I actually worked overnights for a while where I just was coming in and doing remodeling. When the store was closed,
really?
I would be in there with a crew of people just doing remodel stuff.
Huh.
Yeah, so there was some but also the company, I think it just was growing so much, honestly. I don't know if maybe it still is, but at that point in time, it was really transforming into this much bigger thing.
Right.
It used to be Top Brass would be they would come to every location every so often, these certain people, and then there just got to be so big and so many locations that stopped being the president isn't coming to stop by in Aberdeen because location. That's one of 700 stores instead of one of 100.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. They said John Menard. Is his name John Menard?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, that
he
sounds
was
right,
also
yeah.
incredibly paranoid, and
I think Paul Menard too. Is there a Paul?
Could be. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's incredibly paranoid. Like if workers would be doing home improvement projects, he'd send like private investigators out to go watch and see what they're doing and make sure that none of the stuff was things that they took from the store and didn't actually pay for. He's incredibly like a penny pincher to the max, even with this massive company. I think it said he's the richest man in Wisconsin, I believe.
That I could believe that. They also this is probably all stores like this do this, but I know there's secret shoppers very often where is like spies sent in to like test you to see if you're retailing them. Like they come in and you're a dick to them. They're like, yeah, you just failed your store just horrendously failed the secret shopper.
Interesting. Yeah.
That's
more
probably
stores
common.
should do that, honestly.
Yeah. Right.
Like everyone at Menards seems to know their shit. There's a lot of stuff there, and it's very rare. I actually don't know if I've ever had it, probably because I asked the dumbest questions, but I don't know if I've ever gone to Menards and asked where something is and they didn't know. And sometimes I'm like, how do you know where this one little thing is at? Because it's like
they're also very you're not supposed to point. You're not supposed to be like,
they take you there. Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to take them there.
Yeah.
But I'm like,
I know that gets annoying too when you're like, oh, where's this at? And they go, oh, let me, and they just start walking.
Well, I as a shopper don't want them to even walk. I'm like, tell me and like leave me alone.
I know. I'd rather just say it's in that aisle and I'll go do my thing here, because then I'm going to get there and be indecisive and I don't need you standing next to me.
Yeah. Menards is actually a really weird store.
It is. I didn't, and it didn't like a lot of it didn't really hit my brain how weird it was until you watch the video and they kind of talk about some of the things that it's different. And you go, yeah, that actually is kind of strange. Once you take a step back and you don't because we've both that's been the store your whole life you go to,
right.
you know. But if you came to it with fresh eyes, you do realize it is kind of strange.
Yeah, and that thing you talked about, John Menard being paranoid of, people do that all the time too. Using stuff from the store and like their own home improvement projects and stuff like that, and especially because there's things that are red tagged. They're
right,
like
basically returned or damaged.
Yeah, and people will pull stuff out of inventory or there's flexibility on pricing certain things, and people if I had a nickel for every time I either witnessed or partook in something of that nature. But also to a certain extent, it's this some of the stuff, it's not even immoral. Yeah, right. Yeah. It's borderline of even justifying it as being immoral, I think. It's some things are a perk of working at places. Yeah. And you could justify yourself into being a thief by saying something like that,
and that's how people end up in jail.
Right. So that's a slippery slope, but that is maybe true to some extent in some places too.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Well, now let's wrap it up.
Okay, we can finally shut it down.
Now we've talked about everything we could possibly talk about. We got all the urgent matters under control.
We got water fountains and Menards taken care of. Now we can shut her down.
Yeah. All right, Tommy, where do they find you at?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.